And everyone, welcome to the Xperience. My name is Michael Lindenbaum, and we are brought to you by Spartacon, which is August 15th and 16th at Blue Crab Stadium in Waldorf, Maryland. Come see stars from the show Spartacus like Manu Bennett, Cynthia Day Robinson, Dan Fergal, and many others from the show, including the most recently announced Liam McIntyre, who played Spartacus himself. For more information, please visit redserpents.com. And today, I have my good friend from Xperience Productions, Joe Carabeo. How you doing, Joe?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on at short notice.
I mean, if I got time, I'll make it happen, right?
Definitely. Now, of course, many are going like, wait, short notice? How short notice was this? Literally like Monday.
I'm sort of used to that. Like in my world, sometimes, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing then? I realize there's a lot of people out there that assume that I'm too busy to do stuff, but that's not true. If I have a moment, my plate may be full, but I can always make space. So,
and I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So
I appreciate you wanting me on the show. Speak my mind. I'm the most dangerous speaker in all of DC, Maryland, Virginia. So you get ready.
I think it's between you, Patrick Michael Strange, and Ben Taylor.
Well, I like to be positive. I like to be logistical, and I like to see it. I like to be. I'm not. You know, I don't mind offending people, but at the same time, I like to be real. And that also comes with, hey, if it's something that the fans don't like or don't understand, I'm okay with taking that side. I'm a big fan of Lex Luthor. I'm a big fan of people who have to do the necessary evil.
You like the bad guys.
Well, they're not bad to me. You know what I mean?
You're like my friend Kareem, who actually will root for every single bad guy in the WWE.
It's crazy. Like on I forget what episode it was, because on my podcast, the Carolyn and Joe Show, we had an episode that we listed the 10 inspirational people to us. And it was funny because, like, to me, the number 1 and 2 for my episode was number 1, the Joker, and number 2, Lex Luthor. And there's the logistics of it, I felt like were great. You know, those are 2 very passionate people, if we can say we're people, but they're characters that people have re-envisioned throughout the time.
It's actually funny because, we talk a lot on Facebook, and we see on Facebook, like, which villain are you? Which Disney princess are you? Which I don't want to know what Disney princess you are.
I mean, it's different because Disney princesses now go to, like, the evil ones, too, right?
I know.
The queen.
But
I'll be the fucking queen. Why not?
but the funny thing is, for me, is that I actually did one this week.
With
just
the
for fun.
princesses?
No. Which villain are you?
Okay.
I got Scar from The Lion King.
I saw that, yeah. So what does that mean?
It's like a manipulative.
Scar? Is Scar manipulative?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes
I mean, he orchestrated. Let's get it. He was the outcast of his family. He joined up with the hyenas. He planned the death of his brother Mufasa, planned the death of his nephew Simba, and then took over the entire thing and destroyed it.
See, that just seems like an amazing filmmaker to me, if you think about it. Because, like, as filmmakers, that's what we have to do. We sort of have to manipulate the audience to do what we want them to feel and what the story we're trying to tell.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
we suspend disbelief.
But also, like, as like a head of a crew, like if you're a director or a producer, you got to inspire your crew basically to do, to present this make-believe life. It's amazing how serious people take these things. But it's also like, it's make-believe, it's like professional wrestling. It's a carnival act. How serious can you take it?
I know, and it's actually funny because we both make films.
Yeah.
Well, I have made a film.
You're a filmmaker to me, then.
Well, yeah, I've made one compared to your many. But it's actually funny because we suspend disbelief. One of the first things I got berated on for my film Cosplay Life, which is screening at conventions now.
Yeah, everyone should go see that, too. It's awesome.
I think our next screening is actually at Unplugged Expo in Toronto, Canada.
I really appreciate you giving me a copy of that. That's the best way to do it. You got to get people to see it.
Just give copies. The first thing that I got berated for was for making being a cosplayer a profession.
Oh.
And it was like, it's a movie. I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want. People follow Michael Moore, and they're like, oh, that's the truth. But any documentary, in a way, still has its angle.
Yeah.
And
it was just funny thinking about that. It's like, what is the one thing in your filmmaking that you've taken the most crap for when you're trying to suspend disbelief?
Well, I feel like the one thing I take crap for the most of all is promotion, because I feel like I jumped on Facebook or social media maybe like in 2006, or like when all this stuff I feel like was being real, or like was just blossoming now. And
how it's changed.
I mean, now it's changed. I mean, when it comes to promotion and anything, like, yeah, because I write comics, I'm a photographer, I make films. And, in 2007, when we were first getting our first feature film, The Madcap 3, out to audiences, and we were, basically, we had a double feature in which we were out there, having a filmmaking tour, basically. It was me and another filmmaker, me and my filmmaking partner, Brian Sarvis, and another filmmaker named TauRadio, who had his film called Mediated. At that time, that's when Grindhouse, like Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez.
I love that.
Yeah, and I was like, it's a double feature. I think we can do a double feature. So we took that across Virginia to like places in Northern Virginia and Richmond, and we were touring it because we were sort of, we weren't tired of the filmmaking circuit in general, but I just came off of having my own monthly film festival in Richmond, Virginia called Project Resolution. That was like for 4 years, in which we did a film festival every month. And people would bring their films. And I understood how film festivals can be sort of a racket. It could be a con, just to fill, time, basically. And so we were like, well, let me just go out there and let's just grab the promotion by our own horns and take our films out ourselves without doing the festival stuff. And that's when I really started to understand, like, okay, it's one thing to make a film, but it's the 50% is promotion of it. But I feel like there's a lot of times today, at least when I started, where I'd have the reputation of like, all you do is promote, all you do is this and that.
You got to, though.
But it's also like, I'm always saying like, hey, you're not promoting me, so I got to promote myself. And to me, that became really important. I mean, and of course I love promoting other people. I really enjoyed promoting other people's stuff, but I got a lot of shit for that, just because I guess officially I crossed that line. Because, like, there's that thing like, artists, starving artists, they got to do it for free. But when you're promoting something, it's like, now you should come and pay for this. You know what I mean? Or you need to see this. And, you get that, when you first start something and then people start seeing, they're like, congratulations, you're really doing it now. You get that for like a month. Then after a while, those people, those friends, quote unquote friends, start being silent. You know what I mean? And then they're just like used to you promoting, but they never promote you. So there's that sort of leeway. Guillermo del Toro was still is one of my favorite directors, but he said, like, when he was talking about how, there's that, what's it called, the director of Birdman and the director of Gravity, Yunaro Tutu, and I always mess up their names, but he was saying the reason why those guys are such good friends is because those are the filmmakers that survived fame with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's that point where they all became big, and then everyone's like, you're all famous now. And then, even though I'm not famous at any words, I'm not even a name at all, but there is that certain level of, like, you have to survive that first layer of, like, you're great, I see your name everywhere. And then they start to slowly, like, take you for granted or start hating you for some weird reason, and you're like, well, I'm still doing what I do.
And I'm having fun doing it.
Doing what I do. That's the best thing I can think of. That was the one, I guess that was the first thing. I had a documentary that's called Taboo, Serious About Sex. To me, I feel like, and it's weird, I feel like that's my biggest film, because right now, I released that online 2011, but I produced that in 2004. And basically it follows Allison Barber, who at that time her name was Allison Miller, who bought the store called Taboo, an adult store in Taboo. And, she just made that. She was like, I don't know how to run a business, but I'm going to go and see if this business works. Okay, I'm going to go sell, like sex toys and lingerie and porn stuff, whatever. Of course, I'll get a lot of slack for that because there's a bunch of perverts out there like, you're just there to do perverts. But what I understand with you're like, with the cosplay film, people were, you made cosplay into a profession. And at the same time, I got slack because in that the Taboo Girl documentary, the angle I took was the business angle. How is it mundane? How is it real? How is it real? But everyone was like, you should talk about more of the sex part. You should talk about this. And you know what? The point is, just like how Paul Heyman says, you need to zig when others think you're going to zag.
And it's funny that you bring that up because, like, going back to my film, we didn't make cosplaying the focus of the film. that was just the lead character's profession.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
What it was is that it was a look inside the life of a cosplayer outside of conventions. You know, like the personal life, like dealing with parents, like one who disapproves, dealing with friends who disapprove.
Basically, it's the Beyond the Ring.
Yeah, it's the Beyond the Ring of cosplay.
Have you seen that movie? It's a great documentary.
Oh man, I've never seen it. It's been on that bucket list.
You got it. That's the first one because it takes it just like that. Because that came out in like 2000, right? That was actually
I wasn't a wrestling fan then at that time when it came out though. I became a wrestling fan like very late 2000. Like October, November 2000. And I think that documentary came out in like beginning of 2000.
Yeah, because you got to see it because it follows Mick Foley, follows the ECW, and it's everything that you're talking about with yours with cosplay, but with professional wrestling. So it's like you get the
I made Beyond the Ring without even watching Beyond the Ring.
Yeah, that's I think what people want to see. Like to me, like when you're making a documentary or you're making a film, even when I'm writing comics. It's all about like you with the cosplay documentary. It's like you found.
Well, it's not a documentary. It's a straight up story.
A narrative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's you wanted to find the character. You know what I mean? Like you developed the character. That's pretty much when you're making stuff. That's what I find. Like you can't do anything unless you know who this person is. Then you know how to mess with them, and you can point at them. And
yeah, and it's interesting because when did you do your first film screening at a convention, and what was the attendance like, or what was the overall?
I've never done at a convention.
Really?
I never screened at a convention. I've only done festivals and my own festivals, and I mean, I guess that's really what it came down to at that point.
well, then let me rephrase the question then for you. Going into your first screening at some place that was, I guess you can consider foreign to you, not a typical film festival for you that you would be at.
Yeah.
What was the general attendance or reaction was to it?
Wait, so the question is not just in a normal setting, or not in a convention setting,
or it could be like a convention setting, because like with Cosplay Life, it debuted at Anime USA last year to 15 people, and then a Q&A of 4 people. Overall a positive reaction to it though.
Yeah, I mean that's 15 people that didn't see it before. Yeah. Now they've seen it.
And then, of course, I go on to a couple more conventions, and I sit at one convention by myself in an empty room, and then people show up in the credits.
I mean, that's an interesting question because, like, of course, I went to film school, I went to VCU, so we had screenings there too. But that's, to me, there's a difference between making movies in a school environment than outside. I prefer to always, because there's people who make movies when they're in a film school, they're just making a movie to get the next grade. My idea was I'm making a movie that can exist outside of the school environment, so I always planned that. That's why I actually made the film festival. That's why I became a co-producer of the film festival, Project Res, so we can have the outside thing. So when we first started that, it's really interesting you brought that up because it was like it started as like an underground film festival, and then so we were literally we had our own screen. We had our own studio sound system. We'd bring our own speakers, our own projector, and I remember our first one was in the basement of a gallery, of like an art gallery. It was really creepy. I remember the next one, we took it to a, what's it called? Like a pizza place. The next one we took it into like a laundromat. So we were so used, and we became that like roaming secret film festival for like a whole year. And we were promoting it like we were an indie show, like an indie punk band show. They're doing house shows. We would do it at people's houses. But then we got a sponsorship, and that became like, okay, now you can use the upstairs gallery for your film festival. You know, now we have all the chairs. Now we can do that. And
people weren't sitting on the floors
People
anymore.
weren't sitting on the floors, though we would try not to have them sit on the floors anyway, but it was still like people would be sitting on the floors because we would pack the places. So in a sense, it's weird because like in a festival thing, like when you're in a festival, sort of like people are there to see more than one film. So, so you're just part of the lineup. So it's like, okay, and we were in control. Actually, we were not in control of the order of the way the films played. So everyone who was showing a film, we would put their name in a hat. And the person, the first one person would have the start. And then after that, they would put their hand and, they would pull out a name, and that's the next film. So we didn't know when our stuff was going to show. So it was cool because you want to wait because you don't know what you're going to see next. But also with our film festival, after each film, you get a Q&A. and you get the feedback. So you get that instant feedback and that randomness. So I was so used to that level of, one, seeing bad films, because we screen like 10 to 15 films a night. So you get so used to just seeing films and telling them what makes it, well, this might be better if you do this, and then you get to see people grow. But it's also, you get to see us grow, because now we go from a basement pizza place to a real gallery to an actual theater with seats, and it gets bigger and bigger, and that was cool. And then after that, when I premiered my first feature film, the Madcap 3, it's like, then we go from a smaller theater, which housed like 300, or even like less than that, and then we go to like the Bird Theater, or even Cinema Arts over in Fairfax. And then, that's different, because then now it's promoting. Now you don't know. It's like, it's cool when you go to a small town and people already know you, but now I'm like, well, we got to grow and show in other places. And that was scary, because now you're in a big classic theater. You're used to just jam-packing 300. 300 looks really small in like a 2,000. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, I went to, there's a theater in Cleveland Park.
Yeah.
In D.C. And I was there for the Dark Knight pre-screening before it came out in theaters. That packed like almost 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Yeah.
I had never, ever been in a theater that big before.
Yeah.
Up until that point. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and imagine the promotion that went behind that. I mean, that's Dark Knight.
Yeah, well,
so
yeah.
The world knew. There's that film awareness. That's how they rate things. That's how they know if it's going to be successful or not. When a film comes out and they're like, well, 95% of the people know that this movie is coming out. So gauge that. So if 95% of the whole world knows and probably 40% are going to see it, you're probably going to gauge this amount of money. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah, except I saw it 3 times and only paid 50 cents for all 3 times.
That's 50 cents.
Yeah.
That's 50 cents. But like, really, like, even like putting together a show, it's that first 15 minutes before when the doors open, like say if the show is at like 8 o'clock and the doors open like at 7:30 or something like that. And of course, when you open the doors and there's no one there, that's like the scariest part. But then you start to realize, okay, people like to come in late. But like when you wait, you're like, is this always just going to be empty? And then like 15 minutes come by and like, okay, now they're coming. Okay, now it's full.
Yeah.
Even like at panels at AwesomeCon, I was like, you're like, wow, it's 10 minutes. Why are there not a lot of people here in this panel? And then of course shuffling in at the last minute. So that's the tension part,
Yeah, I remember being at T-Mode Easter weekend this year. It was like a last minute thing. I actually wasn't supposed to be doing any conventions until AwesomeCon because I had the jaw surgery in February and we weren't sure how healed up I would be.
That's just like Kanye.
Yeah. But at T-Mode, I got to screen Cosplay Life and do a Q&A, and like literally, I just said, okay, it's 11 o'clock, hit start.
Yeah.
And 3 minutes into the film, people started showing up and was like, oh, how far into the film you are? 3 minutes. You want to start from the begetting?
Started
sure.
Over. Yeah.
Started it over, and then halfway, I think halfway through the film they left. So then it was like an empty room.
Yeah.
It was just me, and I was going, man, this really sucks. It's really, really sucks. And then at the credits, people started showing up for the credits.
And you're like, what the?
And I'm like, what the? Oh, okay, you know what? There's nothing going on after me.
Just play it again.
So I can take over this room to my benefit.
Yeah.
And so what I did was okay, I'm going to re-show the film for you guys, but I'm going to do producer's commentary. And I'm going to skip around some things because you're going to have to wait till the next convention that we screen in the area to see the full film.
Yeah.
And so I was just jumping from part to part, talking about what we were doing when we were filming, things that I wish we could have done better because, first time film, first time stigmas, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Trying hard to get restaurants to work with you to do a first
Was this your first film, like, ever?
Yes.
Like, first production you ever tried to put together?
Yes. This was the very, very first film I've ever written, produced, and starred in. Now, obviously, this is the 4th film I've been in, but the first one where I really took it by the reins and just said, I'm tired of not getting auditions and stuff like this.
Does it have a website?
We have a Facebook page for the film, but I'm probably going to combine it with the X75 Productions page soon just because it's easier to just do everything under one page than trying to manage 4 pages.
Well, also, I feel like just having having that film have its own website, too, it's like real estate. It's like by getting, like, the domain name, you, like, already own it.
Yeah, but I do have it on Facebook. It has its own Facebook page, which is Cosplay Life Film,
Yeah.
and I can never afford to probably get an actual website.
Why not? Do you already have a website?
No.
Oh, I mean, any website at all?
No.
I mean, I feel like Bluehost is really great. I'm always going to support Bluehost because they host my stuff, but they give you like unlimited domain names. So basically, what we've done, because it's real estate at this point, domain names to me is real, like world real estate. Like, I feel like the first thing you should do once you get a hosting site is get your name. Just get your, just get your name.com, so no one can steal that. And then
we're already seeing that in the presidential campaigns.
Yeah, just claim those domain names, but then get your movie domain name and just put something really easy up there, because then that means when they search for that, the key is to be able to dominate the first page of your Google or web search. So like for me, the goal, and I talked about this in 2007. I was talking about this with TauRadio. He teaches over at VCU. He's one of the film professors, though I've never had him as a teacher. We're still his friends. But he was like, all I want really is for people to Google my name and just all my work pops up on that first name. So that's the goal. It's like if they look up your name on Google, everything that you do is right there. Because we used to come from a time where if you wanted to show someone your work, you actually had to bring a DVD, or you had to go and
a VHS tape.
But you had to bring them physical to look at. But now everyone has like phones. Everyone has a computer, and no matter what, they're going to Google you. So the key is to have all your work be the first search. So that's your portfolio right there. And for you to have your film up there and just associate with your name will get views. Even if you have a trailer up there, they'll look at that.
Yeah, we never made a trailer. I wanted a trailer.
Just show one scene.
Yeah.
Just one scene. That's it. That's how I had on the Xperience Productions website for like certain films. And it's been so long since I've actually updated that film site because it's just sort of gravitated.
Yeah, I did hop on because I was trying to do some research, and then I was like, man, there's no real about. There's no... Because it's like, screw it, I'm just going to ask you straight up when you come in.
Well, I mean, I can tell the story about the Xperience Productions site. I'm not the best at creating websites. Or, I mean, I'm not good at doing, or I don't want to do code. Do you do websites? I'm assuming not.
You used to. I used to do computer camp as a teenager, and speaking about making websites and just having fun. So I'm 13 years old at a summer camp in Erie, Pennsylvania. Actually, more like North Springfield, Pennsylvania, but it's right on Lake Erie. And it's also a YMCA camp. Keep that one in mind.
Okay.
A YMCA camp. They have a computer camp, which is the first 2 weeks of the 8-week camp. And the first thing that I did that first week was logo, which is where you have this little turtle on your screen. You give it commands, and it does the commands.
Yeah.
I did that in 3 days.
Well, I totally remember that. I remember
that.
Yeah,
I did that, and I did it in 3 days.
Cool.
So we need to give you something to kill off the rest of this week.
Yeah.
So they started teaching me JavaScript.
Ah.
Let's just put it like this. That was probably a mistake. Well, because that was 15 years ago, and who was at their height 15 years ago still?
Who?
Pam Anderson, Carmen Electra, all these other celebrities, which were also doing Playboy.
So Baywatch.
Yeah, pretty much Baywatch. And the funny thing is that I'm 13 years old. You're giving me unwielded power of the internet, which is still kind of newish at the time. And I end up creating almost like a softcore adult site.
Well, you know what?
With just pictures, and they're like, no, you can't do this. And then they taught me Napster instead. Now it's an even bigger mistake.
Let's dive more into pirating.
It's like, you just taught me another mistake.
Because let's be honest, that's the first thing people did when they found out about the internet. Like, wait a minute, the internet? Let's look up naked pictures of Anna Nicole Smith. That's really, I feel like that's what the first thing that people did on the internet.
And it was like the biggest mistake ever for that camp to do.
Yeah.
It was like, here, let's teach you JavaScript and how to make a website. Okay, how do I put a picture? Here, just look up pictures. I'm like, oh, I know Carmen Electra.
I remember in high school, that's what when we would go with the computer lab, that's what people would do. When they leave a computer, they would leave it on some sort of naked girl or porn site and something like that. Because what else would you do? We didn't know we could learn or put information out there that people can learn, techniques and tutorials.
It's like that thing you brought up with 2006 with Facebook, because I was in college at the time when Facebook came out, and Facebook was supposed to be specifically college only.
Yeah.
You had to be in college, and you had to be, a student somewhere in order to get it.
It was the Facebook back then.
Yeah, it was the Facebook, and I remember being on the original the Facebook, and I actually kind of missed the original Facebook a little bit, with how it's changed so much. But it was literally just for your friends, and now look at Facebook now with how we get our news.
Were you on MySpace before that?
Yes, I was on MySpace before
that.
And I was
adjust it, and I was code, and I was color.
And I was a horrible troll too. Oh man, I was trolling people on MySpace like crazy because you didn't. That's the one thing I actually did like about Facebook over MySpace. You had to be you.
Yeah.
Whereas on MySpace, you could be whoever you wanted.
Yeah.
And so I would just create this thing. I would never put a picture of myself up, and I would just have some code name, and I would just troll people.
And then, like, of course, when people would go to certain guys' pages, and, like, you look at their top 10 friends, they're like, oh, they're all just hot chicks. You're like, this guy must be amazing, you know?
I know, really. It's like, man, he knew Luna Lani? No way.
I remember, like, they expanded, like, the top 10 friends to, like, 25.
Oh, yeah, no. There was a code. There was a code in the beginning before they made it an actual option. There's a code where you could have like a top 100.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I remember going in and putting in the code to do that.
That's where I remembered having to like promoting, because I remember I was producing a show in Richmond called RVA House Show, which was basically I'll produce like live music shows in which it was like, you remember Heyman Hustle? Well, he would do that.
Yeah, he still does the Heyman Hustle.
But I remember being inspired by that. But I was like, how could we infuse his attitude of like those off the cuff interviews, but with a band and a live event, and like the show being the event. But I remember having to promote that on MySpace, and then I remember like I would post like the new house show episode up on the feed, and then like it would disappear. And so I was like, crap, do I got to keep on putting it up there like every 10 minutes?
Well, no, the other funny thing with MySpace is that also like all the fake celebrity accounts. Like, I actually have a story, like, first thing you came in, you looked at my wall and you saw the pictures of Trish and Lita.
Stratus, AJ, and Lita, yeah.
And CM Punk. But yeah, like, with Lita, there was apparently, like, a fake account, but the way it was presented was, like, as a real account.
Yeah.
And we were chatting, and then she was like, oh, you want to see a really funny picture of Edge? This was at the time of the whole Edge, Matt Hardy,
so you're
Lita
chatting
thing.
with fake Lita.
Yeah, I'm chatting with fake Lita. And she goes, oh, you want to see a really funny photo of Edge? I was like, yeah, sure. And she posts the picture from a SmackDown when Edge was feuding with Kurt Angle going into a hair versus hair match.
Yeah.
And it was the Photoshop picture of Edge with the bald head.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I've seen that picture before. It's like, how have you seen that? It was on SmackDown when Edge was feuding with Kurt Angle. Like, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Now I know you're a fake account. Ha!
All these fake relationships online.
I'm in a relationship with my dog who has a Facebook account but can't even access it.
I remember that. Like, even before, like, Facebook and stuff, I don't know what it was, but, like, on, like, Instant Messenger, people would, like, message me, but, like, as like, they're like, Harley Quinn, I'm Harley Quinn. They would see my name, my AOL name, which I guess at that time I was a big fan, still am a big fan of Daredevil, but it was, like, Guardian Angel something, because that's taken from the Marvel Knights run. But people would like message me as like their character, like, and they would type like, "Hi Daredevil, robbing a bank right now." They weren't robbing a bank, but like something like that, and I was supposed to respond with like a story. It became like this role play thing. It got like way crazy. I was part of the tape trade back then. That's what it was, where you would tape wrestling matches or like SmackDown, and then people would look for like, do you have this one from this batch? I can trade you with this, which was amazing back then. You don't need that now because everything's online. But I remember, I bet that's illegal. I'll get arrested for it. But like,
don't you miss tape trading?
The tape trading agents of that. You'd have like TV shows like, oh, you got an episode of Dawson's Creek, I'll trade you that for this episode of Buffy, and people would like swap that.
Oh man, I mean, obviously we're dating ourselves back. But like,
or we're making ourselves more historic.
I know. But like in high school, there's a guy who would always get the WWE pay-per-views, and he would record them.
Yeah.
And then he would make copies, and he would just give he would have our names on the tape, and he would each give us a copy.
Yeah.
And so our tape would be like, mine would have my name on it, and then it would be WrestleMania. And then I would watch WrestleMania that day, and go, oh, so that's what happened at WrestleMania. Then we'd give him the tape back, because then he would get, like, the next pay-per-view, which would normally be Backlash.
Yeah.
So then we get to see Backlash and stuff like that, because the one guy
He was
the head tape trader.
What is that in like drug terms?
he was our tape dealer.
Yeah. You need those guys.
And it's funny. The only thing he ever asked us to do was if the tape went bad, to buy a new tape for him. That's all we had to do.
It's funny because there became like a point, like in my high school, where people would ask, not me, but there would be like the tape trade where people want like, they want a wrestling pay-per-view, and then they want like a porn that they got. And it was crazy because like, and then sometimes you would give.
Next thing you know, the tape would have both on it by accident.
No, it would have both on it. But then some people who, when the tapes get traded further down the line, and no one knows like, oh, here's the Beulah McGillicuddy like porn after like Halloween Havoc '98, and they wouldn't like expect that. They're like, wait, what the hell is this?
It's just the bonus that you get when you do the tape trading.
Yeah, or you're like, you can tell like when someone's watching it over like a million times because it gets that line, that like worn in VHS line in there. You don't have that anymore. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah, remember the Spice Channel?
Yeah, but it's like it's porn without being porn. It's just like as.
Oh no! Just the static.
Just the static.
It's like you got to fix the bunny ears, and you're holding the bunny ears at the same time. Just like I got the picture. I remember when you go to like motels and they're like, oh, there's porn on this channel. It's just all like scrambled, like stuff, but you can hear the sound. Which, if you think about it, it's probably even better for your imagination. Those are interesting times. It's like, wow, we're really talking about the old days.
Or like those are the underground days. There's like
it's underground and old days.
Yeah,
because it's both combined. Because you had this underground thing where it's like tape trading and stuff like that. But when you look at how it is now, it's all gone.
Well, to me, like you have to like new technology today is created to make life easier. That's why we have the remote control, so people can't walk up and have to turn that dial.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed doing that.
Having to click, go to the next one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Most times, I still go up to my TV and press the power button.
Isn't it weird though? Sometimes it's not even really a button. It's just flat. It's just like some sort of set and sensor. So you're just assuming that it's going.
And I just turned it on just by doing the sensor thing.
Exactly. See, now they're just getting rid of buttons altogether. I remember I was watching an episode of Parks and Rec when do you watch Parks and Rec?
No, I've never seen it. I honestly don't get to watch that much TV anymore.
But the character, I forget his name. I'm bad with names. But there was a scene where like
what was your name again?
I forget. But I remember like a guy got like a new phone, and he never got a phone before, but it was a phone with like buttons on it. And Aziz Ansari's character was like, "What? You can't use that? That's so old. Buttons? There's actual buttons on this?" That's really what it's come down to.
It's actually funny because on the Washington Capitals, Jay Beagle, for the longest time, flip phone. And I think recently, or he still hasn't gotten a smartphone yet. He still has the flip phone, which he nicknamed Flippy. And everyone just jones on him about it. It's like, why are you? He doesn't do Twitter. He doesn't do like Facebook, anything. He's like, nope. I got my old school phone. I'm happy.
You're happy. I mean, if you think about it, his life is probably a lot happier. He doesn't have to go through get the updates.
The news feeds.
Yeah, the constant news feeds. Like, whenever, like, I was just watching, whenever I watch, like, a WWE pay-per-view, constantly, I'll just get that update. You know, like, Seth Rollins won. I was like, damn, I wanted to watch it.
Well, actually, that's the one thing I will do, because obviously we both have WWE Network.
Yeah.
We love our WWE.
Actually, I don't have the network.
Oh, really? You don't?
Because
you did.
I did have the network, but I just let it run out. And then people started getting on me. It's funny because they're like, oh, you're a wrestling fan. You should have the network. Oh, you're a filmmaker. You should have Netflix. You know what I mean? But I've seemed to get by without it, because when I had the network the first time, and I totally promoted that, how awesome it is. And I bet it is awesome.
And it is still awesome.
And, but there became a point where I'll just consume the content so fast, and then I'll be like, now we have 3 months of. Remember, there was a time where they didn't really have new content.
Well, see, for me, we all know I had major jaw surgery back in February. We had to fix something that I was born with, which was I couldn't chew properly. Normally you chew like people are going like, wait, I don't see what Michael's doing with his hands, but don't worry, people, you don't need to see what I'm doing.
He's pressing his hands like it's a.
You're pressing your hand. You're pressing your hands like you're actually clapping.
So it's more like you're chopping on top of each other. Right?
Yeah, they're chopping on top of each other.
But you're not supposed to do that.
The teeth are aligned. But the way mine were was now I'm putting it in a V shape and
Yeah.
I'm not fully closing it
Yeah.
because that's how my jaw was. The way the back teeth were.
So they were never connecting.
They were never
Because
connecting.
like it's sort of like imagine like if you were to, I don't know, like how people when they're trying to open up a container or like a bag and they use their teeth to rip it.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
You weren't able to do that because
I couldn't
they
do
weren't
that.
connecting. And that's pretty crazy.
Let me put in perspective.
How many years were you going by like that?
Up until surgery, 28 years.
That's like to be able to get by doing that.
But we never knew. Like
Wait, no one knew? So no one in the dentist was like, take a bite out of this.
No, we thought it was a couple other things. We thought that first we actually did have legitimately my wisdom teeth were pressing.
Okay.
Specifically, my lowers were pressing.
I've never had
teeth.
my wisdom teeth are not.
So
out,
we took my wisdom teeth out. That relieved the issue for a year, and then we found out that my teeth were grinding in my sleep, so we got me a night guard.
I'd probably do that too.
That relieved the pressure for me for about a year and a half, and it started coming back again with my jaw. And so then my dentist go, here, let's do a bite impression. And they said, here, go see an orthodontist. So then I went to go see who my sisters went to for their braces.
Wait, are they two different things?
Yeah.
The dentist just does the cleaning.
Okay,
right?
Okay. Wow, I'm gonna hate this conversation piece. Now.
Why? It's amazing.
Because of what my job is too. See, I work at Monday through Friday 9 to 5. This podcast is done literally on the weekends.
Yeah.
And something for me to do because this is what I would love to do as my career.
But why is that going to make you hate the conversation? Talk about teeth?
My Monday through Friday 9 to 5, well technically 8:30 to 4:30 job is working for an orthodontic supply store.
Oh, okay.
And
you're not like okay, you're not the cleaner.
No. I work for an orthodontic supply store.
Which means what?
So the stuff that you see in my mouth, the braces, the brackets, the arch wires, like the bracket ties, all the colors and stuff like that.
Supply
I sell it. And I've been working with the company now for 5 years, so I've learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing I've learned is that orthodontists go to school for the specific purpose of moving your teeth.
Well, that makes sense.
While dentists are more for the cleaning, but there are dentists who also move teeth.
Okay.
But
is that what orthodontist mean? Moving teeth? Or is that
yeah, I guess so. Name? But I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm already scarred enough by having this conversation. but apparently, like orthodontists, not all of them, but majority of them look down on dentists who do their job.
I didn't even know that. Holy crap! That's like there's this hierarchy.
Yeah, there's like a hierarchy, and so what it was is that I ended up going to the orthodontist that my sisters saw for their braces when they were teenagers, and then they did the X-rays.
Yeah.
I'll show you the picture later. You can literally just see how my jaw is when I'm having my mouth closed.
So that's unique because I always assumed so they never took like an X-ray, like your dentist never did that. They were just cleaning.
They just took. I mean, when they took X-rays, they just took X-rays of the teeth from the front.
Because I remember that was one of the earliest things I did was like a bite, the check your bite.
No, I never did that. But anyways, so I had the surgery February 3rd. I was out of it completely for like the first week.
What does that mean? Like you just couldn't like?
Well, because of the anesthetic and all the pain and the drugs that you're on, it's just you're out of it. But the one thing that I had on, and I had seen all the episodes before on the WWE Network, was Legends of Wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, the hell with it. I'm going to watch Legends of Wrestling.
Well, what else are you going to do?
I'll watch Legends of Wrestling. They had just put up the first season of Tough Enough on there. I never got around to seeing that, but it's on my my watch list on the network. Like, I love the WWE Network. And the biggest thing for me is that I've never been able to order pay-per-views here at home. I've been able to do Mania, but the problem is that the last couple of years that I've been trying to order Mania, there's always been massive issues with the cable company. I don't have to deal with that anymore because all I have to do is fire up my PlayStation 3, soon PS4, and just log into the WWE Network and boom.
Perfect.
I'm watching the pay-per-view. But what I do is that like we were talking about with the social media, like we're trying to watch the pay-per-views and then all of a sudden people are going, oh, this, and this on like Twitter and Facebook. I just shut off my phone and my tablet. That's what I do. I don't have the computer on. I don't have the tablet on. I don't have the phone on.
It's just in the moment.
I'm just watching. I'm watching the pay-per-view.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I don't want to. Don't screw it for me. And then, of course, the WWE app on your phone has to alert you every time
that's what they
something
do.
happens. They're like, yo, if I'm 20 minutes behind, I don't want you alerting me on this stuff.
And they're so on
like what was it? The Elimination Chamber, the network special. That was the last day of AwesomeCon. I got home, thanks to the Metro being all stupid, I got home like 20 minutes late. So I just started the pay-per-view from the very beginning because I was like, no, man, because they started the first match was that tag team match in the Elimination Chamber, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, man, I'll just start from the beginning. The hell with this. Because my boys, the Ascension, were in that match.
As you should. As you should start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that shows how great like the social media awareness that the WWE is, that they're so on top of it. Because they know that people are going to tweet about it, and they are going to post. So it's like they got to jump the gun, too.
Yeah.
And they're so fast. They're like, a lot of people who don't pay attention to what the WWE does is that
it's not just wrestling anymore either.
But also their media department is so beyond other like NFL or anything like that, just because of the quickness in which they can react and interact.
Yeah, like the WWE app and WWE Network. That's all with the help of Major League Baseball.
Yeah. So it's like but at the same time, it's like you have to shut down everything if you want to enjoy it live.
Yeah, especially live, you want to shut it down.
But and usually a lot of times, like, I don't have the network anymore solely because, just because of me and my history, I've already seen all that and I can relive it. But also, like, I have, I don't know, there became a time where, like, I had a choice of, like, I can renew it. But then they kept on giving free months away. And
yeah, that bothers me because I've had the network since day one.
Yeah.
Like, I actually, no, this is funny. And
since WrestleMania 30?
No.
That era?
No. Since day one, since before WrestleMania 30.
Yeah,
because what it was is that February 27th, 2014 was the first day of the network.
So you went through all the glitches of it too.
Yeah, so I've survived the glitches. And I've talked about this on the other podcast that I do, MBM Wrestling with Ben and Mansa.
Yeah.
Is that I've actually got the WWE Network 15 minutes before it was supposed to go live. I actually got to sign up for it 15 minutes before the registration was supposed to go live.
So what happened in those 15 minutes, man?
Nothing. I was at work.
What exclusives did you get in those 15 minutes?
Nothing. I just got to sign up for it while I was sitting at my desk at work. But the great thing is that because it was already done, all I had to do was go to work.
Yeah.
Or come home from work and then just load up the PS3 and then just sign in. But yeah, I had to deal with all the glitches. It was a pain. But now and then they do the 1 year anniversary thing, and they give people like me who've been with them literally since day one a $25 gift card to their website.
That's cool.
To the shop site, which I only got to use half of it because they wouldn't let me use the other half because I only bought one T-shirt. There's a longer story to it. I just don't want to get into it because it would just frustrate me and it just ruin the rest of this day. But with all these free months, I'm like, screw the $25 gift card to the shop, which, thank you for the Ascension t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
Favorite tag team.
Wish they would make them work better.
I know. It's like, stop putting them on Superstars in main event, jobbing to the Lucha Dragons for crying out loud.
I feel like they sabotaged them from the beginning anyway. But
yeah, I know. But Elimination Chamber at least made them look NXT strong. Like the way they were in NXT. They looked like how they were in NXT.
But weren't they the first ones eliminated?
No, they were the third one.
Who's the first?
First one was, I believe, Los Matadores, and then the second one,
that makes sense,
and then the second team to get eliminated, I believe, was Lucha Dragons, or I might have gotten the two switch. And both of them were eliminated by the Ascension.
There's the tier right
and
there.
then Primetime Players eliminated Ascension, then they eliminated Cesaro and Kid, and then New Day won because they had 3 guys in there instead of 2. But yeah, it irritates me because like they keep giving away all these free months to all these people, and I'm like, yeah, it's nice that you want to up your subscriptions.
Yeah.
But you gotta take care of the people who've been with you legitimately since day one. Where's my free month?
Yeah.
I love a free month. I know. This upcoming week they're going to be taking their $9.99 from me through my PayPal account for next month. So,
what would you like? Just a free month?
Just a free month. Or, hey, give me $100 to the shop and let me use it all. Because there's a bunch of t-shirts I'd really like to buy.
They do the same thing like that, I feel like.
This was the kicker. Because we had Seth Rollins and Natalia at AwesomeCon.
Yeah.
Which, good job hosting their panel, by the way.
Thanks, man.
I wanted to get the Seth Rollins Undisputed Future t-shirt before the convention.
Yeah.
I tried using my 25 on getting that shirt. Sold out all the time. I was going to do the Ascension and the Seth Rollins together. And it was sold out. It was sold out.
That's good for Seth.
I know, it is good for Seth. And then I go to Hot Topic like a week ago, and it's like, hey, they got the Seth Rollins t-shirt.
Yeah.
Got it in medium? Good, I want it.
Boom.
And then they had the Dean Ambrose one, too. I was like, I'm taking Dean's.
Dude, Hot Topic. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, they already have the shirts that you want.
Well, they didn't have the shirts going into AwesomeCon. They didn't get it until after.
Oh, so they were getting ready.
Yeah. I was like...
It's crazy how Hot Topic has transitioned. That used to be a place where people were afraid to go into.
Oh, I love going... I'm actually more afraid to go into Hot Topic now than I was then, because they used to carry all the trip pants in-store. Now you got to get it on their website. Like, I don't wear the trip pants as often as I used to because, real life. I mostly wear my trip pants at, like, conventions now and stuff like that. But I love them. But it's just... And how it's just done that 360 turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Or actually more like a 180 turn. 360 would just be going
right
back to where it was.
Hopefully, maybe one day.
Because, like, when you look at all the band shirts, it's like, wow. Okay, you got your Metallica, you got Nirvana. And then who? Why do you have Justin Bieber? But also, get that out of here.
It's incredible because before, how would you get those band shirts? You know what I mean? How, like, back in the day, you would have to actually go to a show to get these shirts. But now it's like, oh, just give it to Hot Topic. Now they have all the shirts you want. But now it's both. But now with
I still would rather buy at the show.
Oh yeah, because it's attached to a memory.
And not only that, but you also get, like, the tour dates on the back.
Yeah. Well, they don't have. Yeah, you don't get that. But, like, just to represent the band, like I remember, like, back in the day when that first, like, popped up back in the day. But
showing her age again.
Showing her age. I was there at the beginning. That's what it is. But, like, it's like I look at it, and I don't really buy a Hot Topic a lot or at all. But, like, to me, it's a good gauge of what is the trend. I mean, because it's what's amazing is at first Hot Topic to me represented, like, okay, that's sort of like a little bit underground, but dark.
It used to be like goth punk metal. That's what it was.
But now it officially embraced its name. It is what the Hot Topic is supposed to be, because now they even they have Harley Quinn and Joker stuff in there. They have all.
But they've always had that stuff in there too.
But, like, if you think about it, now it's like it's become accepted to be the Hot Topic.
That's also true.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy how that worked. If that was their business plan the whole time, it worked out pretty fine because you have Hot Topics everywhere.
Yeah.
And you can buy a chain wallet. It just became that's what people are into, which is amazing.
Yeah. Just bring back my trip pants into the stores.
There'll be probably maybe the Hot Topic in, like, Tyson's Corner has it or something like that.
No, actually.
Did you already search?
I was actually at Tyson's Corner about a month or two ago with my friends, and I don't think they have a Hot Topic.
It's not there?
Yeah, they don't have a Hot Topic there. They have Spencer's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Spencer's is like, eh.
Spencer's
is just more like joke stuff.
Yeah, but Spencer sells sex toys in there now too. You know that?
Yeah,
whole back area.
Yeah, they did that. Let me put it like this: back when I had a girlfriend, and there's reasons why they're called exes.
Yeah,
we went to Spencer's and we bought her one because reasons.
Because of enjoyment. Why not?
Well,
reasons.
Well, this is mostly a PG-13 show, and
is it really?
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into.
Well, you PG-13 crowd, go Google my taboo serious about sex documentary. It was retweeted and viewed by Kevin Smith, and then paraded around by him. So I was okay with that.
Yeah, what was it? I'm probably going to put up the warning. Warning: this may go 18 plus on the YouTube version of this podcast.
Well, the majority of the content I create is in that realm of all ages to whatever is not all ages.
Yeah.
It's just quality. I create quality.
Yeah,
Some of that is not PG-13.
And honestly, I'd rather see quality than quantity.
Because, like, all the good movies that I've seen a lot of times are rated R. Though they're not, they're the best movies I've seen,
Yeah, but again, it also comes down to I'd rather have quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I'd rather see one really good movie in a genre than 5 really bad ones that are just thrown out there at you.
Yeah, there used to be a time where I'd watch a lot of movies in the theater, and then
dude, I rarely go now.
Yeah, well, what happened was, to me, I saw Tomb Raider, and I thought it was complete crap. And
I enjoyed it.
Well, from my mindset was, I saw that.
I wasn't expecting the video game. That was my thing. My thing was I was not expecting the video game.
I had plenty of problems. Well, either way, what happened was I realized that wasn't worth that $15 that I spent to see that, and then now became really, really picky, such as I should be because it's my money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's like I feel like, and it's weird because if I go to a movie, I go in knowing I'm probably gonna like it because I've seen it, or I'm not because I've seen it because my bets are on this movie to be good. Like with Birdman or Ex Machina, like those movies I loved, and I wanted to love them. So if it doesn't, then I'm really mad.
Yeah, like what is it? Like going back to how I saw The Dark Knight before it came out. As I said, I saw it 3 times.
Yeah.
And this is actually the real reason why I don't go to the movies that much anymore. It's because when I was there for the film, like when the Joker does his magic trick, like here's the pencil, boom, while it's gone, everyone just goes ballistic in the theaters.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's a good theater moment for them too.
It's not for me though.
Because you already saw it?
No, it's not for me because everyone's hooting and hollering and talking about it, you're not able to hear what they're saying.
Oh, the next line afterwards.
Yeah, you're not able to hear that next line or the next lines that are being said by the characters. And to me, I want to hear what they're saying.
Yeah, no, you should hear what they're saying, especially for a drama. That action drama.
Yeah,
it's not like a comedy because in comedies they actually pace it out. They know this is going to be a joke. They'll pace it so you won't put an important line after that.
Yeah, and for me that is a key reason why I don't go to the movies that much anymore. Like my friends were asking me.
I mean, you can always go by yourself with an empty theater.
No, and I tried. Like the 3rd time I went to see Batman, The Dark Knight, I tried, and I still couldn't get away from the crowd. Like honestly, I'm waiting for Iron Man 3, Captain America 2, Thor 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, all to just have their Blu-ray prices just drop dramatically, and then just pick them up and watch them up then, because at least then I can watch it on my time in this room, on my TV, and just relax and not have to worry about everyone else. Because like I have a friend, I'm not going to name him, Scott. I'll watch movies with him, and he's the type of guy who, if you're watching it at his place or something, he'll be like, "Oh my god, we gotta see that again." Rewind, fast.
I can't do that.
It's like I can't do that, dude. Just watch the movie, shut up, and just enjoy it.
Like there's a thing where people are always like, "Oh, when they know the movie was a book or something like that," and they're like, "Oh, but the book is better." You know what I mean? It's usually, to me, I have a problem with that line because you know what? The book will always be better, simply because the fact is you control the time of reading the book. But when you're watching a movie,
and I'm pulling out a movie real quick because
pulled out Street Fighter: Legend of Chun-Li starring Kristen Crook.
Yeah, well, I brought it out for a reason.
Because and the dude from American Pie,
or what was it? Chris Klein,
and
Neil McDonough.
Yeah, and Voodoo from Black Eyed Peas,
and Michael Clark Duncan.
And Mark, yes.
But I bring it out for a reason because that was one that had a lot of.
Did you watch that in the theater?
Yeah.
Oh.
I watched it, but here's the thing. Because I actually was doing some stuff from time to time on Kevin McCarthy BDK's movie reviews show. Because
that's part of work, yeah.
Yeah, because I was working for GameStop, so I was able to talk about video games on his thing, and especially when a video game-based movie came out, I could talk about it. Because I did spend 3 years at GameStop, and I was working for GameStop at the time when the movie came out. And he's a huge Street Fighter video game fan. So he had massive expectations for that film. The
trailers look good.
I mean, for me, I was like, I'm not a big fan, but I want to go watch it anyways because I want to have a good time.
Did you pay for it?
Yes.
Okay.
and you want to know something? He got to see it for free, and he hated it. I paid to see it, and I enjoyed it. Because I went in with the thought that A, it's not even going to be close to the video games.
Yeah.
And B...
I mean, how can it?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's a tournament.
Yeah, and B... I just wanted to have low expectations anyways because I'd rather just sit and enjoy the movie. Because I see Neil McDonough and Michael Clark Duncan. I'm going to enjoy it because Michael Clark Duncan especially is going to make his roles fun.
Yeah.
And he always does. So for me, that's what made it for me, just going in with low expectations and just saying, screw it, I'm going to have fun enjoying this movie.
I mean,
no matter how bad it is either.
Dude, I feel like when you watch something or when you intake any type of media, it's 50-50. The only thing that matters is 50-50. You love it or you hate it. That in between is actually the worst. If you have no reaction to it, that's when it's a waste of your fucking time. So for you to love it, for him to hate it, that's all you really need. Because at the end of the day, they still got your money. It doesn't even matter.
Well, they didn't get his, but they got mine.
Well, they got his time. Right?
Yeah, they got his time, but they got his money.
Well, they got his talking about it. But the worst is to just not talk about anything. You know, to take in something and not have any reaction. That's why for my work, I'd rather people like hate it or love it. That's why I feel like even with anything, really, like if that's the worst is when no one the X-Pac reaction. Have you heard about the X-Pac pop?
No.
Well, it's like, you know, when
that's probably before I got into wrestling.
Well, he had that team, X Factor, right?
Oh yeah. That was right when I was getting it. It was just Incredible and Albert.
Albert, yeah. And there was this thing because
didn't last that long.
When their music hit, there'd be like, no reaction. I think they would describe it as there's real heat when people hate you, but they want to watch you. They want to watch you get beat up. And then there's channel changing heat, where they see you on TV, they hate you, and they change the channel. That was that. You don't want to have that. You want to have something where people hate you, but they want to keep talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, which is essentially what you see with like media these days. Is you see, all the people they hate something. A news article happens, they hate it, but they have to respond to it. You know.
And do you feel, and you know, because we're always talking about wrestling most of the time. What were your thoughts?
You know, I graduated college because I wrote a paper on wrestling. And that paper is actually like printed in like the books of like the examples of what make good paper, like what makes a good like
article.
Yeah.
But what was it? Because we're talking about X-Pac. X-Pac recently was in the news blasting TMZ for releasing the 911 call that Dusty Rhodes' wife made.
Yeah.
When he collapsed.
What are my thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I mean,
because we have to do we at least have to talk about Dusty at some point.
We can talk about anything.
No.
What are my thoughts about X-Pac commenting on that?
Well, in general, everything that happened that transpired with that.
I mean,
X-Pac, we lost a legend. That's number one.
I mean, X-Pac for one thing probably didn't have to go and write this big. I feel like these days no one really has to write a big essay about what their opinions are and post it online. Because to me, again, coming from the promotion background, whenever you post anything, that's promotion. So X-Pac, again, is promoting his own brand and trying to get people on his side. That's not a bad thing, but if that's the goal, that's fine. What I think about the posting of the 911 call, anytime I think that, I always think back towards Dave Chappelle. Did you ever watch Dave Chappelle, his stand-up?
No. Well, I never saw the stand-up. I saw bits and pieces of his show.
Well, I
loved him in Robin Hood Men in Tights, though.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Comedians, I feel like, are the real truth tellers of the world. I wanted to be a comedian growing up. I was really into Richard Pryor, but Dave Chappelle has a segment in one of his stand-ups where he talks about how fucked up that is. That people posting their final 911 calls on the air on news and posting how fucked that is. Because you know what? That's like no one wants to know about no one wants that final moment of like your life being like, oh yeah, that's
and I think that's a big thing that X-Pac was coming out
about
absolutely. Because he was really disgusted because a legitimate legend has died.
Well, not just
you have all these tributes that are going out for Dusty Rhodes right now. Obviously, the video from the NXT taping on Thursday has just come out where they did their 10-bell salute before the tapings.
But let's take that worldly too, because it's not just Dusty.
And then you take it to we're using Dusty because he's the most recent. He's literally like almost a week and a half now. But you have all these tributes going out for Dusty right now, and then all of a sudden TMZ goes, here's the 911 call that his wife made.
Again.
Is that what we really want to hear, or do we really want to remember the legacy he really left?
Yeah, but let's think about this too. All right, TMZ. They're aimed at more than just a wrestling audience.
They're crap too, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, of course, I just watched the movie Nightcrawler. That's literally what it is. They're hounding for these stories, make money, whatever, off of people's misfortunes and whatever. So,
which is horrible.
Which is, of course, that's what they wanted. And that's, to me, that sucks. It's horrible because at the same time, it's such a perfect moment for them to release it. Also, it's bullshit that these 911 phone calls are being released in general, and that someone is just like, yeah, post this. This will be great. I totally understand why people should do that, or they do that, because it brings in ratings. You get money, you get sponsors. We're talking about it. Xbox talking about it. More people know about TMZ. You know what I mean? But to me, it's like
sometimes I just wish I was under a rock and didn't know who TMZ was.
Yeah, but like to me, that's that's the motivation behind that wasn't positive. So if it's not positive, it's bullshit because it's sort of stupid.
Yeah, and the thing that actually also upset a lot of people with them releasing the 911 call was,
and that's not the first time they've done it.
No, it's not. I mean, I remember they did Randy Savage's,
and it's true. Like freaking 911 calls are released on like the Daily News too, on other places. It
shouldn't be.
Well, why are people really love? That's what I think. It's like really are if I was an alien looking down on our society. I look down, I'm like, we should invade this society. We should invade this world. And I look at them and I study this our society for a whole year. I'm like, we don't need to invade this world. They're already going to kill each other from the inside. Look at them. All they want to do is wish harm on each other, and they celebrate harm put onto each other.
Don't even get me started with what's been going on in the news because of South Carolina. That's like to me, putting out. I'm never going to say this guy's name. But putting this guy's name out there, putting his face out there for the deplorable acts that he did in South Carolina, that is something that makes me sick too. Because you're literally making a celebrity out of a murderer.
Made him into a celebrity.
Yeah, you're making a celebrity out of a murderer for something that is legitimately, as what Jon Stewart called it, a terrorist act.
Yeah, literally. And
just because he's white doesn't mean anything. It's still a terrorist act.
It doesn't even matter to me at this point. White, black, purple, they could all be colors of the
Barney the dinosaur can murder 10 people. It's still a terrorist act.
I look at everyone just like that TV show Doug. We're all multicolored, we still live in the same world. We're all freaking humans.
Man, I love Doug.
Doug is freaking awesome, man.
There was also another great show, Rugrats.
Rugrats, that's a great Nickelodeon era of shows.
Oh man, Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great time. But see, like, that's what I learned. That's just the one thing. People don't want to see positive stuff until it's too late. Like, again, it's like, okay, we're celebrating Dusty, he just died. Or we always celebrate them when they die. But yes, he did some, to me, Dusty, to know the importance of someone in someone's life, take them out and see how the world would be then. If you take out Dusty off of professional wrestling, or just today in general, you would have a hole and things would not be different. And that's how I rate the importance of somebody. It's like he's touched so many people, which is even the good and the bad, because everyone had their Dusty impression. People loved I listened to this freaking commentary that made no sense. He flipped a flop, you take him to the pay window. Like, that stuff I loved, and that was even beyond him wrestling. So, but you take that away, you have a hole. You're missing, like, this great positive
imagine all the kids in NXT. We shouldn't be really calling them kids, because some of them are our age too. Yeah. But all the people in NXT who were learning from him, because he was their promo coach.
Yeah,
that was the thing. He was teaching him how to speak in front of a microphone. And going back to my jaw surgery real quick, I wouldn't really be able to be doing this podcast if it wasn't for the jaw surgery.
Yeah,
because the way my jaw was, it would be hard to talk.
I mean, but you'd find a way, right?
Yeah, I would find a way. I'd be stuttering a lot more, but not anymore.
Any means necessary, man, to get your voice out there.
Yeah,
right?
but so losing Dusty, we're potentially gonna see that impact in NXT with a lot of how promos are done.
Yeah,
because he was teaching them, and that's something to keep an eye out for. I mean, yeah, they've been bringing in Ric Flair like once a month to do special promo teaching and stuff like that. Maybe they can give Ric Flair a job as a promo coach in NXT.
I mean, you still have Paul Heyman, but I don't think they're going to use him to that degree. But I feel like
I think Paul Heyman's just happy doing what Paul Heyman does.
He's happy just having to focus on what he does right now. Him and looking for Larry, I think is still probably pretty awesome. But with Dusty, what I felt like was amazing about him is that even though he has crazy ideas that are like, we'll make a triple cage, those type of things. Still, sometimes when you have the craziest idea, that just means the world's not ready for it.
He created
Starrcade.
Which then eventually led its way to becoming WrestleMania.
I mean, we don't want to admit it, but he was also one of the main bookers of TNA. I mean, like,
hard promotion?
A whole entire, from what I hear, his idea was a whole entire pay-per-view of every match in a cage. So what, he must love cages. Also, from what I hear from Sanjay Dutt, he was one of the biggest pushers of the X division. So
it's actually a key reason why the X division was so big at the time. And X division, I mean, I've never been a TNA fan, but I would watch the X division.
I was a TNA fan. I'd like to say that, but there was because at a point it was the fringe. It was the stuff that you didn't see. That's where you saw that's where you saw the Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels three-way dance match, you know?
No, that's a triple threat.
Well, triple threat is one pin.
Oh yeah, that's right, three-way dance.
That's how I see it, elimination style. But that's where you'd see those matches. That's where I saw, because I didn't have a chance to get Ring of Honor before that. So,
by the way, speaking of Ring of Honor, you need to watch it on Destination America, man. You need to help them.
I watch it.
You do? Let's get the word out. Boost the ratings.
Oh, from what I hear, it's building.
No, it's not. It got worse.
Well, it didn't get worse. This week got worse. This week went up.
No, from what I heard, it went down. Because I was talking to Ben and Mansa about it on Facebook the other day.
I just saw the numbers yesterday. They went up at least 300,000.
ROH?
Which is still not that much.
No, because what was it? The total number for ROH, the two showings combined, was I think less than 250.
Are you including both
airings?
The replay after?
Yeah, both airings. The initial and then the replay.
I actually personally wouldn't even count that. The second one. I would count that as
everyone that does it, that does the numbers for the websites and stuff like that, they include both. But they'll do a breakdown the first showing, then they'll do a breakdown the second one,
and then there'll be a total,
and then a total. And TNA actually went up. TNA's viewership went up. But ROH's went down.
Here's the honest truth. To me, personally, I feel that, we can watch the numbers right now. I feel like you have to build it, because this is how they build it. Whenever, what's it called? It's not going to get canceled tomorrow. It's not going to get canceled.
Well, TNA has been in the process of being canceled as of September.
I feel like the TNA has been in the process of being canceled for the past 4 years. But they're still there. They're still going. But to me, I'm not going to place a huge judgment until probably until the fall. Until the fall era. That's just how it is. You got to let them develop. You got to let because you have new viewers at this point. You got to let new viewers, because even I almost missed it. Even I always missed it. Oh shit, it's on Wednesday. You know.
So here are the numbers from ROH. Sorry, Manson Ben, I'm stealing one of our bits.
But I don't think we should look at it though.
What was it? Impact Wrestling for 6/17 this past week.
Should we quote the website that you're looking at it on?
It is Raja.com. This is the link that.
What is that?
This is
Raja.com.
This is the link that Ben sent me. 6/17 edition of Impact Wrestling drew 476,000 combined viewers.
Before we do the numbers, did you watch it?
No.
Well,
I was watching NXT. I was watching NXT. I was watching the good promotion.
Because this is what we see. If we want them to grow, literally.
Well, let me put it
when I watched the first week, when the first Destination America of the grouping of Ring of Honor and TNA, I'll tell you what, that was a great freaking 3 hours of wrestling. Because for some reason, it did feel like there's a good energy that pulled through the whole entire thing. Now, when I watched this last week's episode, I was personally annoyed by the fact of, okay, you have the contract signing of Jay and both Jays, Jay Lethal and Jay Briscoe, and I'm a massive fan of Briscoes. So you have that headlines the show. That's the last segment of the show. But then what's the beginning of the TNA show? Another freaking contract signing. I actually turned it off at that point. I didn't turn it off, but I just went and did something else. But when that first week happened, I thought it was a great 3 hours of wrestling.
Now keep this in mind, though. Where do I live?
Where do you live?
In my parents' house.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, in my parents' house.
Okay.
I live in my parents' house. I get the TV in the basement one night a week, and that's to watch Monday Night Raw. So I'm not able to watch.
So no sci-fi?
Yeah, I don't do SmackDown. I don't do SmackDown. I don't do ROH. I don't do TNA. But I'm able to watch NXT in my room. So I watch NXT.
But you can watch NXT anytime.
Yeah. But I can't watch ROH and TNA anytime in my house because other people are using the TVs.
Well, technically, you can watch it at over. I think it's still the same in this area. You can watch it on ABC at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not staying up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I can't even.
I used to watch ECW at that time.
I can't.
Some weird ass.
I can't even stay up past 11 o'clock. It's hard to stay up for 3 hours on Monday Night Raw. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But ROH this week, which was the Best in the World pay-per-view go-home show, drew 272,000 combined viewers. That was down from last week's show, which drew a combined total of 299,000. The initial showing drew 172,000. The replay got 100,000.
All right.
The numbers went down.
Either way, this is what I feel. They're going to grow.
They're going to grow, but the thing is, though, is that they're in a position right now.
This is the second week.
It's the second week, but you got to keep... No, actually, it's the third week.
What happened last week? Oh, yeah, it is the third week.
It's the third week, but you got to keep in mind, Destination has already kind of made it known without officially coming out. They're canceling TNA at the end of September. If ROH is to stay on Destination America past September, the fans got to step up. And they got to support on that, at least the initial showing, not the replay, but the initial showing that they do before TNA Impact. The fans have to come in and go full force and really support their product because, yeah, we get it. They're airing it the weekend before they actually air it.
And not only that, but the pay-per-view was on a Friday.
Yeah. So, I mean, Mancy has even said it. I'll skip the original airing date to watch it on Destination America.
I mean, we all do.
To help Destination America get those numbers for ROH.
But let's think about this. All right. Why? Why should we show our support?
Because you love the product, and this is something that everyone's been wanting to see.
Do you love the product? Let's be honest about that.
Well,
do you love the product?
I want to say this right now. I have never watched ROH. I want to watch ROH. I don't have the abilities to watch ROH.
See, this is where I get. So,
but
it's the same thing.
If I got to watch it, and then really got and really, I would give it. And this is how I did. This is how I got into WWE. I started watching, and I picked a specific storyline. And I followed that storyline for 3 months. And of course, that storyline led into the Armageddon Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
That's how I got into wrestling in the first place. When I watch ROH, when I do get the chance to watch ROH, I am going to pick a storyline and follow it for about 3 months and see where it goes. And if that one storyline can really grab me, then I would watch more. But at the same time, I'm also going to be paying attention to the other people who are around because obviously big names that got my attention were like the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys. They got my attention. Actually, they're the ones who got my attention more than the main WWF title storyline.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's why I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling, which is why I'm glad that we have so many tag teams now that we can root for.
Absolutely.
Go Ascension.
Well, see... And that's the thing. You follow the storyline, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, 1 hour of ROH, they tape 4 episodes. Because I go as much as I can to watch ROH in Baltimore live. And to me, that's top to bottom. That's the best top to bottom wrestling show I can watch. Though I've never seen NXT live. I wish I had, but it's Florida. And they just were in Philly, but I missed that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you do a show during the daytime, it's sort of tough.
Let me put it like this: if NXT comes to DC. I guarantee you, not only are you and I, Manson and Ben going, but I could also see Mike Jones from DC 101 going. Yeah. I could see Ben Penrod just flying. Nope, I'm doing the NXT in DC.
No, we were...
Penrod will fly up for that.
Yeah. I mean, even though, but also, like, NXT had, whatever theater they were shooting at. I mean, first day was solid, second day wasn't sellout. And that's an under $1,000 room. Not $1,000 room. Under 1,000 person room. But here's the thing. All right, but the structure is this. And this is not a cop-out, but it potentially could be. It's the same with any show. With Ring of Honor, you're taping 4 episodes in one time. That's going to air. So there's no repeats. There's no repeat wrestlers. So if someone's tuning in to look for someone every week, you're not going to get the Briscoes next week. And they tell you that. So there could be a potential of programming where it's like, well, if you love the Briscoes, because it's like, well, people love John Cena. That's why we put John Cena on every show every week, so those ratings come in. Ring of Honor, at this point, since they're working off the pre-tapes, it's like, well, of course, since it's not big budget, we can only have these guys in a certain amount of segments. Yeah. So you might not get all the stars you're looking for every week.
Yeah.
And which essentially is, it's could be an opportunity for the guys that don't have a name yet to build their name, since they will have airtime. You know, so that's. I mean, I wish JB Jacobs was there, but he's in writing NXT or on Raw.
No, I think he's writing Raw.
Now he's writing Raw, yeah. So whatever happens there, but
hopefully we get better programming than what we've been getting lately.
But I'd love to be the most honest part about that and be like, I'm not gonna. And this is with bands and comics. I'm not gonna follow something to quote unquote support them. I'm gonna honestly follow something because they're doing an awesome job and they're creating something that's great. Because I would hate to, like, I hate it when people. I don't hate it, and I really like it. But like when I'll buy your book just, to support the indies, or to support the indie books. But I'm like, I want you to buy it because I busted my ass to make these characters as amazing as they can, and for you to actually enjoy the work I'm giving you. Not, though I appreciate it, but not because not because of charity.
So honestly, the Hounds of Injustice by Burt Lacey. That's the only piece of art that I bought all weekend at AwesomeCon.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty awesome. And the Lacey brothers are great.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, that picture is amazing.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I was like, I had to buy it.
Yeah.
And now if I can just meet Seth Rollins again and get Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns to sign it, that'd be great.
But to me, that's what it is. It's like, by watching a show and saying, that's great, I'm going to tune, just like any other TV show. Like, that's I watched the first 3 episodes of Gotham. And I
enjoyed that show.
Yeah, and I was like, this is going to be great. If only I remembered when it was on, then my life went on. So I was like, I had to catch it on demand. That was the only time.
That's why, as we look back into my bookcase, TV shows on Blu-ray.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the first 2 seasons, I had the first 2 seasons of Arrow on there. That's how I finally got to watch Arrow.
Yeah.
Just throwing it in the Blu-ray player and just watching it.
Now, the hope is that someone's producing something that's so great that we have to watch it, that we have to do it.
Well, see, the other problem is like you brought up Gotham.
Yeah.
Another show that I really loved was House.
Yeah. Which is surprising. I don't even know. I look at you and I'm like, oh, it doesn't seem like you love House. Or Olivia Wilde. Maybe you just loved Olivia Wilde.
No, it was Hugh Laurie, man, that sold it for me, honestly. He's a good actor. But the problem with House, 24, Gotham, they're all Monday nights. Oh, and the following.
And we all know.
They're all Monday nights.
We all know Monday night.
It's Monday Night Raw.
Man, I remember when Buffy was on Monday nights. I was like, man.
It's like, but now at least, because I have Comcast digital cable here at home, or Xfinity as they call it now.
You DVR it?
No, I don't DVR. We don't have DVR. My dad won't do it. My dad's old school.
It's like a $20 extra?
But we have on demand.
Oh, yeah.
And they put the show up the next day. So I'm able to, if I want to work out in the basement or on my tablet, I have the on demand feature on my tablet. I can just go back and rewatch it. So I'll rewatch, Gotham. I'll catch up on the following and stuff like that. And that's how The only problem is that it's only they only have the last 3 to 4 weeks. So it's
you gotta be on. That's how I screwed up with Better Call Saul. You know that show? Did you watch that?
No.
Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
No.
I recommend Breaking Bad then. But basically,
there's that drug that Breaking Bad does to you.
Yeah.
It's like you ever see that Family Guy spoof? It's like, you're going to watch Breaking Bad. I'm going to watch Breaking Bad. You're going to tell your friends how great this show is. I'm going to tell my friends how great this show is.
But that scenario happened to me, but I watched the first episode of Better Call Saul, which is a spin-off of that. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to wait so I can binge it after 5 episodes, after they do 5 weeks. And then you know what happened? I guess I tuned in a week later because episode 2 wasn't there. I'm like, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny too because everyone's going on and on about Game of Thrones,
which I've only seen the first episode, the first season of Game of Thrones.
Never seen it,
but people are already spoiling it for me left and right.
Honestly, here's the thing: because everyone's going on about it, I'm not even watching it.
You don't need to,
and because it's all over Facebook and Twitter. But for me, I'm not watching it because that's what everyone wants you to watch.
Exactly.
I've never watched Breaking Bad because that's what everyone wants you to watch.
You got to watch it in your time.
Yeah, I've never watched. I mean, I did watch the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead. And hated it. Hated it.
How much did you hate it for? Or why did you hate it?
I hated it because, one, I wasn't a big fan of the storytelling.
Well, then, that's it.
Yeah, it was it didn't tell me. And
TNA, you TNA'd it.
No, TNA had other problems. But,
well, it's still story, right?
Yeah.
But, you hated the way they told that story.
Yeah, I just didn't like it, and I was like, I remember, because I didn't see season 1 and 2 until they're probably already in, season 4.
Yeah.
So, I let some time go by, but I still remembered everyone going on about the Sophia storyline.
Yeah.
And then I finally got to see the whole Sophia storyline play out. And I'm like, eh.
Well, see, this is the reason.
Just didn't care.
This is the reason.
And I think there's too many characters, too many stories going on at the same time, too.
Yeah. Well,
And it just moved way too slow for me.
Here's the reason why I have to be, like, when I go see a movie, I have to be at that Thursday night screening or press screening, because I really don't like people saying you have to see it because of this. You have to. I really don't like people telling me what to see. First of all,
no. By the way, you have to see Spartacus.
Yeah, I've seen Spartacus.
Good show.
Well, I've seen clips of just like Lucy Lawless being naked.
There's a lot of people being naked. I followed
Rob Tapert because that's Sam Raimi's partner, and I'm a massive.
Well, Stephen DeKnight's the showrunner.
Yeah,
for the entire thing.
But that to me was like, you know, when you gravitate towards a name, that's what got. I love Stephen DeKnight. So
the thing for me, I didn't get gravitated into it because of Stephen DeKnight or Sam Raimi or Rob Tapert.
You were like naked Lucy Lawless.
No, it wasn't actually that either. It was
the guy from Mummy.
It was. I just saw it.
Was
on
it slow motion?
I saw it on. I saw the first 2 episodes on demand. Randomly, I was just browsing for something to watch, and I go in the stars, and I saw Spartacus. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then
how many episodes on demand?
Stars does every episode of every season.
Okay, so it was already been playing while you were there.
No, they were getting ready to do episode 3 of the first season. This is when the show first came out.
So you hopped on like when episodes already were aired.
Yeah.
See, people can still do that with Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and well, I don't know about Destination America though.
No, but just in general.
Oh yeah, but. So for Spartacus, and then it said the cast list. It showed like 2 of the main cast members, and it said John Hannah and Lucy Lawless.
You say John Hamm?
Hannah.
Oh, that was like John Hamm.
Hannah. But I saw this, and I recognized it. I was like, oh, okay, John Hannah and Lucy Lawless is in it. Let's check it out. And so then I started watching the first episode, and because there's sex, I'm watching in the living room, and my mom walks in and goes, "Are you watching porn?" "No, it's Spartacus, Mom."
Spartacus porn?
But so then. I was like, okay, that was a good first episode. It had good action, good storytelling. Let's see the second episode. Second episode, Manu Bennett debuts. And I knew of Manu Bennett, who will be at Spartacon, plug.
Yeah.
And
it's why people should go to Spartacon.
Yeah, because he slayed Wilson in Arrow.
Yeah.
He was Azog the King of the Orcs in Hobbit. But before all that, before even Spartacus, I had known of him because he was in The Marine with John Cena and Robert Patrick. He was in The Condemned with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vinnie Jones.
So you had a wrestling connection there.
And he was in 30 Days a Night with Josh Hartnett
and
Melissa George. So I had already known him from those 3 movies for the supporting roles that he did. And then seeing him in more of a lead role on Spartacus, I was like, all right. This guy who I've seen in these 3 movies is now getting a lead
because you've already invested so much time that you know
into the actor that
you know this brings quality that you enjoy at that level.
And by the addition of Manu Bennett, I was like,
now you're in.
I'm in, and that's how I actually got into Spartacus, and I would watch every night when they did the new episodes. And at first it was every Friday night, then the last 2 seasons were every Saturday night. So it was like, okay, I can watch every Saturday night, and that's not a big deal.
And I think that's really what we were talking about this when it comes to even when creating a character for your film and creating comics and all the stuff I do with mine, is that people do want to invest in a character and will follow them. So that's a crucial thing when it comes to when people are developing. That's why I couldn't get into TNA later on. I was like, who am I going to invest in? What character am I going to invest in? Because you guys keep on switching up and ruining it.
Well, and that's the other thing with ROH, because if you look at ROH, a lot of the guys are TNA.
Yeah.
And when you look
but before they were Ring of Honor.
Yeah. So it's like literally, it's like, oh, well, they're in TNA, now they're in ROH, and they're ROH and TNA, and now you're also in Global Force Wrestling, which hasn't debuted yet.
Except for the Briscoes.
Yeah.
Which to me when I was first really getting into Ring of Honor recently, it was solely because of the Briscoes. Because I saw their promos, I already connected, I was already enjoying their characters, and I already knew about their WWE tryout, and they did a promo on it saying how the reason why they didn't get in from the notes they got is because they were aesthetically not pleasing to look at. So they did a promo and saying, aesthetically not pleasing? Me and my motherfucking brother are aesthetically not pleasing? And then, like, if you look at that promo, and this was several years ago before the Briscoes have the look they have now, which is like the full-on beard. They look like terrorists. They look like crazy ass.
They look like Harper and Rowan.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what's crazy. It's like, It's that they have that,
they're the Wyatt family, but not the Wyatts.
And then the WWE is like, oh, not aesthetically unpleasing, and then you have the Wyatts there, but then the Briscoes are already amazing workers and can already deliver a great promo. And
well, let's also not take anything away from Harper and Rowan. They're really great. Workers
they're Ring of Honor as well.
Yeah.
So we're not just rating Ring of Honor people. Maybe but to me, it's like.
I know WWE has their eyes on the Briscoes, though.
Oh yeah, but from right here, that's not going to happen. Anytime. They're already locked in. But to me, that's what you need when it comes to developing any show or a book or a movie. Is you got to deliver something that people can watch only there. That's not that they can't see anywhere else. That's why I can see AJ Styles, I can see them anywhere. Briscoes, you see the Briscoes on Ring of Honor. To me, that's a major pull. I think Jay Lethal is exclusive to them too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he might be. No, I think Jay Lethal is doing GFW now.
But to me, I mean, GFW is awesome. I hear the talent relations is really an awesome person who does that. but yeah, I mean, that could be something great too. But I feel like we have
Well, let's be honest. If Jeff Jarrett puts the title on him immediately,
then we know something's wrong.
Yeah, then we know something's wrong. If Jeff Jarrett stays out of the ring, then we might be okay with GFW.
Yeah. And yet, during that time, when Jeff Jarrett had the belt, it was on the rise in TNA.
Yeah, and actually, that's when I was watching. And actually, a big reason why I watched is because I'm a huge Jeff Hardy fan.
Yeah.
And when Jeff left WWE and then he went to TNA, and then they're like, oh, well, TNA is now on, whatever channel they are on. I was like, okay, I'll watch.
Yeah.
I'll watch because it's Jeff Hardy. I'll watch because it's Christian. I'll watch because it's Rhino, because I actually enjoyed those guys.
Yeah.
When they're in WWE. And that's why I would watch TNA. I really just watch for those guys.
Did you watch it for what was Dusty Rhodes' character or Dustin Rhodes' character?
No.
It was
Black Rain.
Black Rain.
It was Black Rain, and no, I was not watching.
He changed. He was something else too, wasn't he?
No, he was Black Rain because he wanted to keep doing the whole paint thing.
He was. I'm happy that he's like in really good shape right now because he was in really bad shape back then.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Mentally, sobriety wise. Yeah, it's really good to see where Goldust is now.
Yeah. Doesn't he do?
He's out to the shoulder surgery though, right?
But doesn't he do DDP yoga? Didn't he say he does DDP yoga?
I think he did.
I'll push. You should get DDP yoga as a sponsor. Carolyn does. My partner Carolyn does DDP yoga. It's awesome.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I'm still waiting for the accept my friend request that we can talk about it.
Talk about what on Instagram, on Facebook?
Yeah.
Friend request on Facebook?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. We have all. Part of that is a smokescreen. We all have like ways of getting in contact with each other, so I wouldn't take any of that super serious.
Contact me. Let's talk about DDP yoga.
There's people who take the social media friendship like really super serious. Like
you want to know something funny? I just got unfriended by two people. One's an independent pro wrestler.
Yeah, but you're friended again with Natty though, right?
Well, I'm still working on it with Natty.
Still working on it? I thought she was working on it, right?
Yeah, we are working. Natty,
she got her people on it.
Hold on. Let's go to Twitter real quick.
Well, first let's see who she follows, and then we'll see that.
Let's.
How many people does Natty follow?
Hold on. That's if it tells me.
Is it blocked? Is it just blocked? What did she do?
I don't know, because she has me blocked and I have her blocked.
Why did you block her? Just as a response?
No.
You're like, well, if you're gonna block me, well, fuck you.
No, it was just.
Sorry, PG-13.
No, this one's an 18 plus already.
All right, cool.
You said the F-bomb a few times.
Well, we're allowed to, in PG-13, you're allowed to say a certain amount of Fs.
Well, you're only allowed to say it once.
So you can block out. We'll just
so
choose
let's
the
see
important
here.
one.
You are blocked from following Nappy Nature and viewing Nappy Nature's tweets. Learn more. Well, I don't want to. But the funny thing is that I can block her, but I never blocked her. But on her end, it shows me as showing the same message to her.
You must have said something.
I don't know. All I said was I was excited to meet her at freaking Awesome Con.
But you met her at Awesome Con, right?
Yeah, and we chatted. We were figuring out what the heck happened.
Yeah, but
let me hop onto the MBM Wrestling Twitter, which is MBM_wrestling.
Let's see. Here's the thing. Let's be honest. If she didn't block you, right? If you weren't blocked in that scenario, if anything, you actually have a more grounded conversation than you two would have had, because that's beyond like, oh, I loved you in this match or whatever.
Yeah,
you actually have interaction.
Now I'm on the MBM Wrestling Twitter account.
Yeah,
she follows 10,000, almost 11,000 people.
Who?
Well, it looks like she's following one of the Tough Enough contestants.
Are these all the? Does it usually rate it by the most recent one they
Yeah, it's normally, it looks like she's following some of the Tough Enough contestants. By the way, go Patrick Clark. You gotta support MCW on that one.
Now, why do we have to? Just because he's local?
Yeah, he's our local boy. We gotta support the local boy.
I didn't see people cheering Sanjay Dutt.
It looks like she's Layla. Obviously, she's gonna follow a lot of the people in the WWE. It looks like she follows a lot of fans.
Yeah, but see, I want to be honest about that. You actually had a fun conversation.
Yeah,
that was based off of that. Who else is gonna have that?
Yeah, literally, I went up to Natalia and she follows Awesome Con. How about that?
That's amazing. I mean, that's great.
And now we can just get her to follow NBN Wrestling. Then technically we would be following each other. But
or just have her on.
Yeah, or have her on.
Why not? Why just take it to the next level? Just have her on.
I'm still waiting for the first episode to come out. I'm still going to promote MBM because it's a great project. Once we get it really going, but
once we really get going, what does that
mean? We recorded one episode, and it was a disaster because my Audacity stopped recording midway through.
Yeah,
and then my internet connection crapped out while we were trying to do the second hour.
Okay,
because we were recording over Skype, and then Ben's thing crashed and. It took him a while to save it, and by the time he was able to recover it, it was like, well, it's already outdated. So then we recorded last weekend, and it went good. My internet crapped out the end when we were trying to plug each other.
That's why I'm always freaked out about having it record directly into a computer, just solely because of I always have some sort of backup. But it's just sort of like anything could happen. I don't trust computers. Computers are evil, sir.
That recording went really good. The only thing that happened was my internet connection crapped out when I was trying to plug myself. And yeah, that got messed up.
Wait, what do you mean? You tried to plug yourself?
Well, what we do is at the end of our podcast, we'll do it at the end of this one.
Yeah.
Is we will tell people where they can follow us.
What? So you didn't remember your name? Or?
No. My internet connection legitimately crapped out, so I would talk into my thing, but they couldn't hear me, so they just assumed I was off the call.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
it was through like Skype or something.
Yeah, we're doing a Skype call. We record over Skype, so I would be recording my Audacity while on Skype with them, and so it just crapped out at the end. So that was like the only bad thing that happened in that episode. But we're just waiting for official word of when that episode's going up because
you should demand it. Because people to write in
because we do it every other weekend.
Yeah,
we do it every other week because that way we can let some stuff build up so we can talk about it. But yeah, so I told you this story. I've told Patrick the story.
Wait, I don't think you told me the story. I don't even know what the story. I don't even know what the story
with Natty. About.
Oh, I thought you were gonna tell the story about how all of a sudden you disappeared behind us.
Yeah,
when we were going in for the Seth Rollins Natty.
Well, no, I was told to get in line. That's why.
Who told you that?
Secure.
Did he?
Yeah.
Why did he tell Patrick to stand in line?
Because he had press. He had press. You had press.
I didn't have press.
Or what did you have?
I just had myself.
Yeah, and I
just walked in like I owned the joint because I do.
And I had VIP.
Yeah,
I had the Seth Rollins VIP badge
because I was literally.
So they're like, and there are actually a couple other attendees right there. They're trying to go. Well, he's going in with those guys. I'm like, yeah, you got to go. And okay, so that's what happened with that.
Oh, we're like, but you could have totally followed us.
Luckily, the VIP line wasn't that bad.
When we got in there, we literally turned around, and like,
where did Mike go?
Where'd he go?
Yeah, I got stopped by security. Sorry about that. But after the panel,
I heard that. Oh, I saw pictures that the Paul Heyman guy was there. I didn't know it was
he was there.
I knew it was a black guy with the Paul Heyman shirt, but I didn't know it was legit the guy.
Yeah, it was the guy. No, he was actually at the he was at the Pro Wrestling Today panel.
When Seth since everyone's all like, why didn't you hold the belt, Joe, while you're up there? I was like, I don't know why they didn't come to me, but when Seth was like, are you the Paul Heyman guy? And I was like, is that guy actually deep? I don't know why I was marking out towards that.
We're marking out towards fans now. Forget the superstars.
But, I was like, dude, I've seen that guy everywhere. Sorry, Seth.
But so one
of my favorite moments was that they actually gave me props for my intro. They're like, what an intro, guys.
Yeah, like, cool. But what was it? So I'm standing in line for Natty. And I actually hopped out real quick to get Seth Rollins again. I actually paid to get Seth Rollins' autograph for Ben Taylor.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't meet them because he was working in the kids zone. And and then I hop back in the line. And then as I get to Natty, I actually pay $60 for her so I can get 2 autographs, one for me, one for Ben. And the first thing I tell her is like, hi, can you sign this one for my friend Ben because he's working in the kids zone?
Were you nervous? Are you a fan of Natalia?
I'm a fan of her as a wrestler. I just don't really. I mean, I understand why she's managing Kid and Cesaro.
Yeah.
Well, now it's going to be just Cesaro probably because Kid's out with the neck injury.
Yeah, and also Natalia's been managing Hearts and the tags for a long time.
But I'd really love to see. I love Natty as a wrestler. I'd love to see her wrestle more. Honestly,
I was really surprised that she mentioned Teddy Hart.
Yeah, but so when I finally get up to her, I'd say, "Hey, can you sign this for my friend Ben because he's unable to meet you because he's working in the Kid Zone and he really, really wanted to meet you." And she was like, "Not a problem. What was his name? Ben." And then she wrote Ben, love you with a heart and Natty on it.
Yeah,
and that was really cool. And then I bring up my card. And it's like, this one you can sign for me. You don't need to personalize it. Not a big deal. And then I go, "But I have to bring this up to you." And she goes, "What's that?" And I said, as you're filming me, I said to her, "For some reason, you blocked me on Twitter, and I don't know why." She's like, "Really?" She was shocked. She was like, "Really?" And so she pulls out her iPhone, and she goes, "Here's my card. That's my Twitter account." And she goes, "Okay, let me put it." She's like, "It says here you have me blocked, mister." I was like, "What?" And I looked at her phone, and I put, "Hold on, let me get this up." And we put our phones next to each other.
Wait, how did she check the? Oh, did she already search you?
No, she pulled. I gave her my business card,
and she searched your name.
And I said that's where my Twitter account is on the business card. She looked it up, and so we both looked at our phones. I literally just handed my phone to her, and
you had a phone moment.
We had a phone moment, and I handed her my phone. And it's like, that's what it shows for me when I look you up. She's like, "That's crazy." And we were just like, "This is not acceptable." It's like we'll find a way to get each other unblocked.
What did she hand her phone off to an executive?
No. There was no executive next to her. There's like,
they're just like, I guess I'll just figure it out sooner or later.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. But luckily, because of the MBM Wrestling Twitter, I can tweet her now and have her actually see my tweets.
Yeah.
Albeit through a different account.
And you got to somehow be able to weed through the thousands of millions of tweets that she gets through.
Yeah, because she's got over 1 million followers, too.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that she said that as soon as she gets it fixed, or like as long as we both get it fixed on both our ends.
Well, first she has to remember to do it.
Yeah. Well, Raleigh is coming to DC.
That's true.
On June 29th, and I will be there.
There you go, man.
I'll just have a poster that says, "Natty, unblock
me, Natty!"
Yeah. Unblock me,
that would be so awesome. And watch that be the show she's not on. She'll be on there somewhere.
No, well, with the whole situation with Tyson right now, with the neck injury that he has, it's a big question mark of, is she going to be on Raw? Is Cesaro going to be on Raw? It's a really big question with that because of the whole what's going on with Tyson.
I feel like if she's not there on Raw, she'll be somewhere else. But she'll be... See, she still has to work.
Yeah.
She can still work. They'll put her on something.
Yeah, because I know obviously they're going to do the, I guess it's main event or Superstars taping beforehand. I know they've been having Cesaro wrestling single, but I don't think Natty's been going out with him.
Well, hopefully something,
Yeah, because...
because she's still willing and able. So for her not to be used as a talent in some form just because of that is a missed opportunity.
And not only that, but let's be brutally honest. I'd rather see Natty run circles around many of the divas that are on the roster right now. Because she can do it.
But would that be interesting, or would you actually want her to have a challenge to make it interesting? What would be an interesting story for her?
Honestly, the only person who I could see as a viable threat for Natalya is Paige.
Did they already have a storyline?
No.
So you think maybe she's going to be the friend that Paige needs?
Well, from what I've read,
and then that builds to
from what I've read, they're looking at potential. I mean, I would love it if it's Natalya. It's the perfect timing for Natalya, especially with the injury to Tyson. But from what I read, it might be an NXT call up.
Well, the hope is, what do you want to see?
Honestly, right now,
because we can read all.
Honestly, as much as I agree that Charlotte and Becky Lynch and Sasha should be getting the call up soon.
Yeah,
Natty should be getting that spot because they need to do something with Natty, and I think
because of seniority.
It's not just really seniority, but she needs something to do. I mean, last week was the first time.
Well, where would you put her if you're booking this thing? Would you put her with that, or would you do a call up? Where's the more money?
I would right now. I would be booking her because I know a lot of fans want to see her. I want to see her wrestle. You want to see her wrestle?
I want to see. I actually want to see a three. I want to see a 3-man team, a 3-woman team.
Well, and see that actually works because then you can have Natalya and a call up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because
who would be the call up for you?
It'll most likely be Charlotte.
So you have Natalya,
Paige, and Charlotte.
Is she a redhead?
No, Charlotte's the blonde.
She's the blonde? Charlotte. For some reason I thought you said Becky. Sorry.
No. Well, Becky's
not even blonde. There's no redhead then, right?
No, there is. Becky's a redhead, and technically Sasha Banks is kind of a redhead because she dyed her hair red.
So it's one of those because it has to be a blonde.
And the other name that was thrown out was Bailey, but it just came out that she's working with a broken arm.
So I feel like, see, visually, I always look at it visual. You gotta think of like performers and all that stuff. You gotta see what would be cool in the visual because like with the
No, let's just bring it back to Michelle McCool. There you go.
No, but like as like a team because that's what makes a New Day. That's what makes that an interesting visual because you got a big guy, you got the high flyer, and then you got the middleman. So if you have a 3-man team, all right, with the girls with Natty, you got. I'm looking at hair color. What could fit in there to make it interesting?
Well, you'd have 2 blondes and a brunette.
2 blondes and a brunette. With Charlotte? Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's a red.
Charlotte's a brunette.
What?
But yeah.
You said Charlotte's a brunette?
Or not brunette, blonde. My bad.
Yeah, I thought, whatever.
We're just having confusing moments now.
There is no redhead, right?
Yeah, Becky Lynch.
Is
Becky Lynch is a legit redhead.
She can fit.
Although she dyed her hair a more unique red, which I went, wait, why did you just go from being a redhead to a flaming redhead?
Oh, so now we're battling into Eva Marie, but I don't know if they're going to let Eva Marie do anything.
No. Okay, so they just did the NXT tapings on Thursday.
Even though she's been working with Brian Kendrick, I'm interested to see that. But.
Okay. I'm actually going to say this on this podcast because they're never going to let me say it on MBM Wrestling.
Why? Because it's ahead of time? You do what you want. It's your podcast.
No. Because when we did the initial podcast and I was telling you about how my internet connection crapped out, so I got lost. I was at the moment we were talking about NXT and Eva Marie coming out and just getting crapped all over by the fans.
Yeah.
And I was trying to bring up the point of, okay, one, yes, nobody likes Eva Marie. I don't like Eva Marie. Ben doesn't like Eva Marie. Mansa doesn't like Eva Marie. Nobody likes Eva Marie.
So out of those 3 people,
but also look at the crowd audience.
Yeah, but you all like looking at Eva Marie.
Not really, honestly. I'm not
too mannish for you.
No, I just never thought she was that great in the first place. Because she was really just brought in for Total Divas.
She has a fitness look, right? Well, they all have a fitness look.
I don't really try to gauge things on.
Because I really want to know why you don't like Eva Marie.
She was brought in for Total Divas. That was the number one thing, and I was just like, a reality show, really? I mean, yeah, of course they're doing Tough Enough, but Tough Enough I actually kind of like. Because,
that's like The Voice. Yeah, have that talent first going in.
Yeah, but yeah, they just did it for this drama reality show,
which of course it makes sense.
And for me, it's like, okay, they just brought her in for this
because they need to introduce a new character. That's why.
And then they're trying to have her be a wrestler, and it just wasn't working. It really wasn't
because they weren't even giving her a chance to practice wrestling.
And so she got injured. She took time off. She was dealing with some problems, legitimately. And then during that time, though, when she was getting everything together, she was training with Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
And then she comes and does that NXT taping where she just got crapped all over. Now,
which of course they should.
Now, see here, yeah, exactly, they should because
it's a wrestling show.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I was trying to put this out there until my internet connection crapped out. With what they're doing with Eva Marie right now, she is now officially an NXT diva. By going to school with Brian Kendrick, it shows that she's taking it more seriously. Yeah. You could tell when she was trying to cut her promo, she was taking it more seriously.
Yeah.
Even though everyone was crapping all over her. In the most recent tapings, on the very last episode, she announced that she'll be wrestling in the next set of tapings.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying I'm an Eva Marie fan, but one thing I will say is this. When you saw the fans crapping all over her, you could legitimately see that she was trying her best to cut a promo.
Yeah.
It made you feel bad for her. Legitimately, when you look at it from a storytelling aspect, you feel bad for her.
You're like, oh, she's trying so hard.
Yeah, she's trying so hard, and all this other stuff. And for me, what it is that I look at it as this. Okay, you know what? We know she's been training with Brian Kendrick. We now know she's at the Performance Center training with the trainers now.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's got her stuff together, and she's taking this seriously, and you're trying to see her do that.
Yeah.
Let's see where this goes. And if she actually impresses us, then yes, I will become the president of the Eva Marie fan club.
What will it take for you to be impressed by her?
Honestly, her taking it seriously. You know, we had this discussion on the first episode of MVM when it comes out, and we were talking about Dana Brooke.
But for her to take it seriously, okay, that's cool.
But we want to see it. Okay, let me elaborate more. We want to see it in the ring. If she wants to take being in this business seriously, I want to see ring. I want to see her taking great gains and becoming a great wrestler, to be a great wrestler with the likes of Charlotte, with the likes of Sasha Banks, with the likes of Becky Lynch. I want to see her go up against them and prove that she can go with them. Because if she can prove that she can go with them, then I can take her more seriously as an NXT diva and as a wrestler itself.
Okay, after all that, I mean, to me, those are essentially things that a wrestler should have anyway.
Yeah.
But after that, what's going to make her a draw? That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. What's going to get her to draw money? You know what I mean?
And honestly, and this is something that WWE could really work in their favor, because the fans already hate her and they're most likely not going to give her a chance. You know, use that to go, okay, you know, everyone's just going to boo her, but she's going to keep playing the nice character. And then it would just be perfect at that right moment where she just freaking snaps, goes berserk on like another face, and just goes heel.
Like she does like a Jericho heel turn.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know, she could be the hottest thing.
Because I feel like, to me...
But that's only if she takes it seriously.
Well, to me, I mean, for one thing, professionally, if she's being paid to do a job, if you're being paid to be a wrestler, be the freaking best wrestler you can be.
Yeah.
To me, that's just being professional. That's what professional wrestling should be. You're going out there, you should be able to talk, you should be able to do all that. But essentially after that, her fate's still in the hands of creative. So,
NXT creative, let's be brutally honest, NXT creative is a lot better than, say, Raw creative.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you're doing an hour show compared to a 3-hour show.
Yeah, but they're also writing up 4 hours worth of programming to film in one day.
Yeah, but also at the same time, that's for like a whole month's worth of tape.
Yeah.
So the other level is a certain level of burnout creative, because writing a show in general is not as easy.
Well, that's a thing where it's like, shouldn't Raw just go back to 2 hours?
Well, I mean,
then that's one less hour they have to write, and they're not as burnt out.
Yeah, but are you going to turn down? Because remember, we're up here for advertising. If you take away that hour, you're losing all those ad time.
Yeah, but you're also losing. I mean, a lot of fans.
Or put NXT in the beginning or end of that. Why not? If they put it up there.
But I think NXT works best as a network exclusive.
I mean, you see, there's more time for wrestling now on Raw and SmackDown, which is all wrestling, really.
Yeah.
and then 30 minutes of like promo. But like, I can understand. I would love to have a shorter 2-hour show. I mean, even an hour show just means more like it's more action packed and quicker. 2 hours, a little more development. But 3 hours, even when WCW was doing that, that's a lot. That's a lot to intake. That's a lot to produce.
It is, and that's a big, like, even Triple H has come out and said, I'd rather do 2 hours than 3, because
he says that third hour hour is the hardest to write.
Well, what it really is that, you know, when you look at the first hour, okay, you get your first hour stuff, you do the major promos and stuff like that. But then in the second hour, you're rehashing it. The third hour, you're rehashing it. It's like, you're just showing the same crap all over. And also, saying this for me, I like to be able to stay awake for a main event for once.
Yeah.
Because I'm always falling asleep during that third hour, not because I'm bored for the most part, but because I'm just tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah, and also, like, that's the length of a time of a pay-per-view too, and you have to go through commercials. So there's a lot that weighs in on us as the viewer. So I don't know.
You guys, like, the commercials come on in, you're doing jumping jacks.
There's freaking commercials all over the place on that shit, dude. But like, I can see that it's tiring for everybody, really. But they just can't. I feel like they just can't turn down that money. They just can't. From what I've known, they're not. It's not going away anytime soon. A 3-hour block.
No, it's not going away until Vince goes away.
Yeah,
and who knows when Vince will go away.
Yeah, but even though I bet, like, I mean, if they can somehow make that third hour like really enjoyable, but I feel like no matter what,
here's the thing. Why don't you make that very first hour like a pre-show? Like, you do a 1-hour pre-show where you can, like, do a recap of the week before. You could do, or if there's a pay-per-view, you could do a recap of the pay-per-view.
Is this a live?
And like a live recap thing.
But live as in the arena?
Yeah. Or not necessarily in the arena. You could do it, I mean, you can use that time to film, like, the the other show, do some dark matches and stuff like that to get while the fans are getting in there. But do an hour long from 8 to 9, do an hour long pre-show, maybe, and then from 9 to 11 or 11:15, which is where the longest they can run up to. That's when you do Monday Night Raw. So you still have that first hour on USA Network.
What if USA Network? What if they're the ones that saying like, well, you promised us live.
Well, it's
hours.
live.
You know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they can
as opposed to like a magazine show.
They could do a Raw kickoff show, kickoff match.
I really did enjoy when they had the pre-show that was on the network. Yeah. And then they took it away.
Well, it comes and goes. But it's back now.
But when you can see it in the background, like the dark match, I like that sort of atmosphere.
Well, what it is that they moved it from actually in the arena.
Yeah, now it's in
the studio.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it does.
That Booker T is sitting there and like I was like, well, that takes away from me wanting to watch the show because I'm not part of that show. Now I'm just like in the studio, like it's Sports Center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean, well, also keep in mind, right now they're going through some budget cuts things because obviously when the initial network numbers came out, the stock fell, which lost millions.
Do you have stock?
No.
What? Why don't you help them out, man? Why don't you buy them stocks?
I don't know the stock market to save my life.
I love it though when people are always like, we need to help and support them. But then, like, we need to watch the show. But then no one wants to go and watch the show.
Okay. Let me put it like this: you go in that drawer that has the trip.
You saw how much one. What was it like? Oh, it's $13 a point on a stock. It's just $13. Why don't you go buy $100 worth of stocks?
I go in here on my PS3.
That's how you're investing.
And I log in the WWE Network. I invest $10 a month to WWE.
But I love
and whenever I buy a T-shirt from Hot Topic, I'm investing in WWE. Whenever I go to a show, I'm investing in WWE.
But you can technically really invest if you just save like $500 and then just I'm gonna buy five.
It was a bit of chore just to get $3,000 for a down payment for a car.
But if you get that, then you can be in on like those like the
when they do the investor meetings, they're at freaking noon. I'm at work.
But still, you'd be like, sorry, I gotta go to my stock.
I gotta go to a stockholder meeting. My job is good. Yeah, that's. But nice.
Imagine how
the work.
Yeah, but imagine how badass it would be when they make it huge. Like they even get further, and you're like, oh shit, my stock, WWE stock just went through the roof. Think about that.
Yeah. Who do I own stock in?
You should get stock in Disney, though it's pretty expensive.
I have stock in Disney.
Really? Then you should be pretty good. Trade some of that for some WWE stock.
I have stock in Disney, GM, Giant Food.
And you don't have any in WWE stock? Trade some of that. Trade at least $5.
That's why, yeah.
You should tell your stock person, like, listen, I heard this WWE stock is going up. And they'll be like, no, it's not. It's going down. They're going to tell you not to get that.
Are you ready for my stock broker?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sitting right across the hall. So.
No, but 3 hours of wrestling is tough. 1 hour is probably the easiest to write, but then again, it's like people want two. Two is a good solid.
Two is a good solid amount.
So why can't TNA do that shit? Why can't they make it exciting? Because they don't know how to make their own stars.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing why I've never been able to get into TNA.
Hulk Hogan ruined it, man.
Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan definitely ruined it. Well, he also ruined WCW.
He also made.
Yeah, but
But then he warned out his welcome.
Yeah, but what was it? But yeah, like with TNA, like I could only name one guy who they grew, and that was AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and then they got rid of him.
Yeah, and but like I said earlier in the podcast, like TNA, I was watching for Jeff Hardy, Christian, and Rhino.
Did you watch before that? A little bit.
Not really. No.
Did you watch when Christian came in? That was a great moment. That Genesis.
I was watching. I literally started watching when Jeff Hardy came in, and then Christian came shortly after.
Did you like the Antichrist Jeff Hardy? Did you watch at that point?
See,
when he was with Immortal or whatever it was?
No, that was what, his second run?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch the second run.
When he started doing more face paint?
No, I wasn't watching the second run when he was like literally a mental, physical, emotional disaster.
So you didn't watch that match?
No.
With Sting against Jeff Hardy?
No.
You should see that match. That's one of the greatest examples
of why TNA is just so bad.
Well, just sort of like, first of all, they let him out there. And then
and
that's the roll up, and then Sting, and then to think they built for that year or whatever Sting versus Jeff Hardy, and for the payoff to be a roll up out of nowhere.
Could you imagine Jeff Hardy coming back to WWE, which the door's open for that, because he's gotten his life together, and there was Sting in WWE? How interesting would it be to see them do that build in WWE compared to TNA?
I mean, I was a massive fan of like Sting when he was doing the Joker. Did you ever watch that?
That was in TNA.
Yeah, it was in TNA.
I know of it, but I didn't see it.
That to me, that was when I was the most recently interested in Sting, because I was like, he's doing the Joker, that's fine, but it's also like for that.
Yeah.
But I'd love them to do more stuff with Sting. Why not? You have someone on
there.
Well,
I mean, you gotta keep in mind he has limited appearances.
Yeah, but if everyone watches the movie once a year, if you can do it right, limited appearances is nothing. Give other people. It's not like you don't need to over present these guys. They know who they are.
I think the big thing that everyone's going to be waiting for is, are we going to get Sting versus Undertaker at WrestleMania next year? Because it is in Texas, where they're both from. They could both potentially go in the Hall of Fame. And the question is, can we see them go off into the sunset going into a match against each other? The cornerstone of WCW versus the cornerstone of the WWE from the Monday Night Wars. Well, and that will be the interesting thing for us to see. And honestly, I would like to see that.
I mean, all I know is if they do that, I mean, hopefully they can put on a good match, because at the end of the day, we're not going to care who wins or loses that match.
Yeah,
that's mainly a showcase of like that. It better be presented as this is their last match, because there's no other reason to watch it. What other drama? What like?
Well, let's put it like this.
Phantom Undertaker will start stalking the Crow Sting. What type of storylines are you going to get off this?
Well, see, let's just be brutally honest. Our entrances are going to be the Undertaker and Sting. The match is going to be Mark Calloway versus Steve Borden.
Yeah,
that's what we're going to be seeing. But the fact that you're still marqueing it as Undertaker versus Sting, which is something that people have been wanting to see for like 2 decades, people are going to want to see it anyways just because of the two names.
Exactly. So, like, that's all it really needs to be.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, think about it like this. When they did the Triple H Undertaker feud going into, I believe it was 28. Yeah, it was going into WrestleMania 28. Undertaker made his big return. And then before he could even say a word, Triple H comes out. And then he looks at the sign, he looks at Undertaker, and then they both look at the sign. And then Taker did the cutthroat, which was saying he accepts.
Yep.
And then you go into that's all you needed to go into that. And then the next year, Triple H was being COO Triple H, and then Undertaker comes out.
Yep.
And then, of course, Triple H backs out, and then he does the whole spiel about, I can't because I'm the CEO and stuff like that.
But both of those matches were still pretty stellar matches.
I wasn't...
They were watchable.
The Hell in a Cell one, to me, was a letdown.
Well, to me, that's already like... See, that's the thing, is like...
Because they're calling it the End of the Era match, and they used the new school cell.
Yeah.
Wherein they should have used the old school cell. If you really wanted to do End of an Era, you needed to do the old school cell.
Or else what?
It gives it... Well, to me, it gives it that real feeling of, wow, they're bringing back the old cell, the original Hell in a Cell, for one last match, and then they just stick with the current Hell in a Cell that they have, which is bigger and
they were probably just thinking, you know what? It's probably easier just to throw this new cell up there because it's already ready to go.
Yeah.
But I feel like what I'm afraid of, and I feel like since that stadium that they're going to be at for WrestleMania 31
Cowboy Stadium,
yeah, it's absolutely gigantic.
They're going to break the record.
You have to stack it though. You have to stack the card. Well, you also don't want, since you're wrestling that big of an audience. And what's the biggest wrestling show you've been to? Like, has it been to that scale?
The biggest wrestling show I've been to would have to be the SummerSlam 2005 pay-per-view. And that was at the MCI Center, which is now the Verizon Center.
Verizon Center. So because that's like what, 21,000 or something like that.
More like 19.
So when you're reaching up to that WrestleMania level, that over 70,000, it's like the worst thing to have is like a dead crowd.
And here's the thing, because it's at AT&T, I think it's called Cowboy Stadium, as it's really called, or Jerry World.
Jerry World? What?
It's the Cowboy Stadium.
Is it called Jerry's? I don't know.
Well, the nickname is Jerry World because Jerry Jones.
Oh, okay.
He owns it.
He's like, I want to be Jerry World.
Yeah, it's Jerry World. But they're going to break the attendance record. It's going to be over. I'm going to say it now. It's probably going to be over 1,115,000 people.
Yeah. See,
that's how many people it's probably going to be. It's going to be like 1,115,000.
But you don't want to have.
Or no, correction. Not. Why am I saying a million? Wow,
because
I'm really out of it.
A million people, man.
That's how many people are probably going to be watching it.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be about 115,000 people in that stadium alone. And with that type of crowd, you're going to have a Taker match. You're probably going to have a Sting match. Will probably be with Taker. You know, they're probably going to bring in as many legends as they can to really just stack this deck. And you know that they're eventually going to have Owens, Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, Sami Zayn. You know those guys are probably going to be doing something because they're tearing it up in NXT.
They got to get as many names to fill that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, say it is the final match of Sting and Undertaker. Say if it's your final match, I would not want to have a dead crowd for my final match. So that's what if they're going to wrestle, I still want to put on a good match. And I want it to mean something. You know, I don't want to just be like, oh, yay, it's like the final parade of these wrestlers. Screw that. If I'm a performer, and I am a performer, I'm going out with a freaking bang. You know what I mean? So that's what I want. So for them to be healthy enough to do that, then I'll be happy.
Yep. But
will it happen? It should happen.
I hope it happens.
It should.
It should, yeah.
My money, I'll be willing to pay to see that.
But how much are you willing to pay? Are you willing to pay WWE Network price, or are you willing to pay the $75?
I'm not going to pay the $75. I'm going to get the network. Because, you know, you got to go for the better deal.
It's also a better investment.
Yeah, exactly.
Long term.
Exactly. And probably by that time they'll have more content ready.
They'll have more Total Divas up there for you.
They'll have more Total Divas. I didn't watch the last season of Total Divas.
I haven't watched any Total Divas.
A lot of it's so fabricated, and I've shot reality shows before, so I just know it's like weird, you know. And, you know, if you want to see John Cena as a heel, that's the best play to watch it, you know?
Yeah, especially the older stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you know who is also hilarious? Is freaking, it's Tyson. Tyson's hilarious on Total Divas, man.
Yeah. But,
just being like this asshole doesn't care about anything. It's hilarious.
But we've been going for 2 hours.
Cool.
Which is our record now.
Is it? Nice.
It is the
record. I feel like we can still go if you want. It's up to you.
So unfortunately, we do have things we have to do. It's the life we live in. Because I actually do. You don't know this. I've said this a few times. I actually, after I do the audio, make sure it's all good and good. I submit it to TauRadio.
Cool.
And that's where you all can go. I post a link up on the Xperience, not the Xperience page, but the X75 Productions Facebook page. And then we do a YouTube video.
Sweet.
And this one will most likely just be the Xperience logo for that the entire time.
Awesome.
So it'll be the easiest one to ever make. But it takes hours to make anyways.
Why's that?
Mostly finalizing.
Oh, okay.
It takes like 10 hours to finalize something, so.
Well, I mean, that's the
way we work.
Are you going to post the whole thing? Is going to get posted on YouTube?
Yeah.
Man, we should throw some random image in there, too. It's up to you. It's whatever's easier. That's usually
whatever works, yeah. But,
yeah, man. So,
plug your stuff.
Really, the best place you can find me. Again, we were egotistically talking about that. You can just Google our names.
So well, you can not really me, but more you. You're going to have to show me all that stuff.
Yeah, later. But literally, I mean, first things first, I have a podcast as well. It's called The Carolyn and Joe Show. You can check that out at carolynandjoeshow.com. Comes out every week. I forget what number. We're over 327 weekly episodes, so we're just going to keep on giving you that awesome content we do. Also, you can check out my work at joecarabeo.com, joecarabeo.com. You can check out my film work, photography work, comic work. Also, that's attached to my Tumblr, which is usually the best way to get my new updated work. This is goastray.tumblr.com. Also, sometimes I'm a musician, so check out my work at soundcloud.com/Mr-Bandit. And I have films on a website called one-shots.com. Pretty much that's it, but you can find it if you Google me. So
just Google Joe Carabeo.
That's what it's worth it. So also, it's great being on the show. I thought this was a blast.
Yeah.
You know?
And were
you about to shake my hand? The people can't see it. We're doing the Mega Powers handshake.
And everyone can follow me on Twitter at the Lindenbaum75. My last name is spelled Lindenbaum, and it's just the numeral 75. One day I'll tell you the story why I have the number 75 there.
Nice.
And then also on Facebook, you can just follow me on the X75 Productions Facebook page of facebook.com/X75 Productions. And then, of course, I'm also with the guys of MBM Wrestling, so at MBM_Wrestling, and Facebook is MBM Wrestling on TauRadio, which is TauRadio. This has been The Xperience. I'm Michael Lindenbaum. He is Joe Carabeo. We have been brought to you by Spartacon, which is August 15th and 16th at Blue Crab Stadium in Waldorf, Maryland. Come see the stars from the show. Spartacus like Manu Bennett, Cynthia Day Robinson, Dan Fergal, Leanne McIntyre, and many others from the show. For more information, please visit redservants.com. And until next time, keep on having fun, people.